AmeriCorps needs you now more than ever. What is AmeriCorps? It's your opportunity to help your neighbor and your nation through these difficult times. AmeriCorps members serve their communities by fighting hunger, teaching and tutoring and mentoring students, and responding to natural disasters. AmeriCorps is your chance to get involved and be the greater good. Search hundreds of opportunities and apply at joinamericorps.gov. That's joinamericorps.gov.
In the beginning, there was nothing. And then there was the Drunken Peasants Podcast.
I gotta get a witness. No!
Say, man, you got a joint? No, not on me, man.
I don't have facts to back this up.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
That's true. Sometimes I cry.
Oh! Lick my butthole, he laughed.
From the strangest corners of the internet, here to bring you opinions of the world from an altered perspective. Here are your hosts, the Drunken Peasants.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Drunken Peasants Podcast, episode 739. We've got Hellbent. He's back with us again. Hi, Hellbent.
Good to be back.
Thank you for joining us. We have a few quick announcements before we get into the normal part of the show. First announcement, actual maniacs for the month of May, for everyone who got their $25 and above pledges in before the end of May, are almost done being produced. There's a lot of them. There's over 100 of them. Somewhere between 1 and 200 of them being made. Okay? They're flying off the fake internet shelves. All right? This is the figure that you will get if you sign up before the end of this month. $25 or above on Patreon or Subscribestar. You can one of these can be yours. I'm sending out last month's before the end of this month, and it'll always be staggered by a month. So as long as you're signed up before the end of that month, you get it. Yeah, and man, I am I had to create a little distribution hub. You know, I thought that the day I owned a digital scale meant I would be a drug dealer. I didn't know that I would own a digital scale for real postage. I feel like such a square.
You've never owned a digital scale before?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
I have had so many digital scales.
Of course you did.
I've only
Of course you did. Your
dealers
dad
with
smoked
those.
crack.
So many. We never weighed out crack.
Well, cocaine though, right?
He didn't buy the cocaine. He bought crack.
Oh, okay.
He wasn't a chef.
Oh, okay. See,
Sometimes the chef would cook
I had
in our
one
house.
of those scales, the really janky scales that you like hung the bag from and you'd like dangle it and the little dial would turn to tell you how much it weighed.
Yeah, little keychain one. That's how
Yeah.
you know that your friend's about to rip you off.
Damn.
Yeah. So sign up before the end of this month if you want to get the BENPAI Actual Maniac. These are limited edition. They will not be produced again after next month. So month by month, sign up now. And by the way, there's some talk on Patreon about taxes being charged. There are certain ways to deal with that. Basically, I believe that the majority of the support we get from our fans is just general supporting the show. So it's more like a donation than it is buying something. So the taxes will be marginal. And one thing about the actual Maniacs is I'm fronting the shipping cost on this for you guys. Literally, you only pay the $25 for it. And for those of you who live on the other parts of the world, I'm taking a big profit loss by fronting the shipping to you. So just letting you know, sign up. Two other things before we move on. Send us your bats. Keep checking for your bats because bats pop up when I don't even expect them. I got a bunch of them today, and I didn't even know that I was going to get them. So send us your bats through the Brave browser. And yeah, that's everything, I think.
That's everything.
Oh, no. We're doing a Patreon private show this Friday. This is kind of the random one where we just pick a topic to do. This one, I think we're going to dive into the craziness, the insanity that is the QAnon conspiracy theory.
Oh, I could go on for days. Jesus. How long has that been going on?
What, QAnon?
Yeah. It's been just a thing since like 2014.
Yeah, but it's getting even weirder. Their theories have evolved to some real weirdness over the years. Like, they thought the Mueller investigation was all a ruse and Mueller was actually on Donald Trump's side. And they were trying to throw off the elites by making them think Trump was being investigated and possibly impeached. There's a whole lot of it.
Double, triple, quadruple cross that you'd only see if you had half a brain.
It's a bottomless pit of a rabbit hole that we're going to jump down. We're going to get some QAnon videos that QAnon people have made, and then we're going to get some debunking videos, some articles. We're going to go through all of that. So check that out, $5 Patreon. Everyone, please like the stream. We're going to move on to the next part of the show here. And wow, for a while there, we had no news to really do on the show, and now it's so news heavy. It's insane.
He called me, sir. It got me so human angry.
People are discriminating against wolves. Wow.
They're laughing at us, at our stupidity.
And you better well learn to love it.
All right. Wow, we're going to get started here. Here's the first thing. This isn't really news. This is literal DP news right here. Because of our last episode, we got blocked by Chris Hansen.
Oh no.
Got blocked.
He got you there.
We got blocked by Chris Hansen because we said that he was a dishonest grifter who's not being honest about his real motivations for the work that he's doing. And, he sold all the past year and a half's worth of footage and stories and all of that has been sold to the Discovery Channel for their ID network. And they're going to produce, I don't know if it's a docu-series or a docudrama, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, he's sold the rights and footage, I'm guessing. That's probably the most valuable part of what he's got is the footage of him interviewing all of the people involved in this and him going to Onision's house, that footage. So,
well, Ben, the people at Discovery ID, they run a tight ship and a great show. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited for where this might go in the future because some people do have content that is very valuable and it can be sold to a company like that. And I don't think Chris Hansen's a bad guy at all for doing it.
If you I don't think he's a bad guy for doing that. I think he's being dishonest about why he's doing it.
I think he's being very honest by doing this show. And signing on with Discovery ID, a wonderful company.
No, he's being dishonest because he's claiming that he didn't sell it while simultaneously saying it's going to get more exposure now.
Yeah, he worked out a pretty decent deal with the company, and all the other people who are quiet right now also made a pretty good penny off of this too. So you'll see the people that are getting angry, they're just the people that didn't get their money in. They didn't get to buy in with Discovery ID themselves, so they're jelly. They're cranky. Anybody who's not complaining about this right now has been on the team. They're on the team with me and Chris Hansen.
Oh, the sudden about face from you. What? Were you talking to Chris Hansen over the weekend or what?
Join the team, guys.
So since Onision is hard up for money, he should audition to be himself on the Discovery ID show.
Have you seen any of his OnlyFans content?
No. Why the fuck would I see that?
So he's going full on jerk off videos.
Oh.
Somebody messaged me and told me that he has a bleached butthole video where he's showing off his bum hole.
No.
Up close.
I could have died never knowing that and been exponentially happier than I am right now.
No, I didn't ask for this. People just tell me these things, so I figured I'd tell everybody else. But
well, thank you. I'm glad you explained that so it can imprint in my mind, Billy. I appreciate that being part of my neurons now.
yeah, I'm just excited where we're headed with this new Discovery ID deal that Chris Hansen and I signed for the Onision story.
Now you're chroma keyed.
Oh my God. It's like the old days.
Yeah.
I missed it.
Yeah, there we go. That's better.
Oh, the OnlyFans thing is true. I didn't sign a deal with Discovery ID with Chris.
Oh my!
Hansen.
See, sometimes when you're being sarcastic, it's kind of hard to tell because
watch out or he'll show you his Emmy award.
Whip out that Emmy. Whip out those 8 Emmys,
back
baby.
and forth sometimes from being serious to not being serious, and there's a fine line, and sometimes people don't catch.
Yeah, no, it's the art of the craft. But I like that Chris Hansen still follows me. Me and him are good buds.
He wasn't the one who followed you, and he probably doesn't realize that.
We think that. I just think he's going to cash in on my Discovery ID. He's going to need me to play myself in this Discovery ID video because I'm basically the Jeffrey Epstein of YouTube.
Nope, he's going to look at your IMDb and be like, this dude is not tall enough.
That's not true. It's not true at all.
Nope.
What would you rather watch, Onion Boys on Levan or Shinies on Levan?
Onion Boy. Onion. Onision.
You know, unfortunately, we watched some of Shani's OnlyFans.
Yeah,
so
Onision.
I've already seen it.
Onision.
I guess I'm going to pick the one I've already seen because I've already seen it.
I guess that's
that way I don't have to watch both. Because if you've already seen one of them, you're gonna. If you're like, oh, well, I have to have watched.
The question is, which would you rather see?
I've already seen the one.
Well, yeah, but would you rather have seen that or Onision?
It's hard to say.
I'll say Onision right off the bat.
Of course you will. Of course you will.
Because at least I'd feel like, at least I can compare myself to him now and be like, oh, I got a better pecker than he does. I got a superior pecker to Onision.
Okay. I'm moving on to the next thing.
That's a weird goal. But,
I know.
Hey.
Everybody should compare themselves sexually to Onision.
We've devolved into nonsense.
He's the measuring stick. He's the apex predator.
All right. Here's Alex Jones.
Seattle Autonomous Zone warlord creates private police force. It's dubbed Black George Zimmerman.
So I want to point out that the guy Alex Jones is talking about is Billy's friend.
It's Raz Simone. He's a rapper out here in Seattle.
Is Hellbent frozen?
Yeah, Hellbent got froze.
I think he's gone from the call.
Damn it.
He's just sitting there looking very happy, smiling.
He's in his own autonomous
Oh, no, there he is. There he is.
Zone.
Hi. Oh, you're back, Hellbent.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay.
I was just sitting quietly because shit was fucked. So I'm like, well, let it unfuck itself.
The anarcho-communist autonomous zone near Capitol Hill in Seattle, Washington, has reportedly embraced the anarcho-capitalist dream of creating a private vigilante police force to patrol the streets of the commune, which is now beating up people. The autonomous zone, the streets are apparently currently controlled by hip-hop artist turned warlord by the name of Raz Simone, who has a
hip-hop warlord, Raz Simone.
Just a hip-hop warlord, according to Alex Jones.
And there's a very expensive ride, PT Cruiser.
Calling him the Black George Zimmerman.
Establish
Who
an
the fuck
armed
said
private
that?
police force that does not hesitate to dole out beatings to communal miscreants. Seattle now, a large part of the city.
Why are his eyes
is
closed?
controlled by a self-described African warlord.
He's not African warlord. He's not self-described. He doesn't call himself a warlord. He's not a fucking African anything.
Well, he's African American.
He's
right?
black.
Yeah.
Right.
50-50, yeah.
No,
He's not
a
from
fucking
Africa.
African warlord.
His ancestors are.
But maybe.
Like,
maybe they're Moors. Who knows?
Maybe. Well, you know,
Moors
hey.
were, I think, still from Africa.
I don't know. Maybe his ancestors are from Albuquerque. So the whole point here is he's not a fucking warlord. He's not an African warlord. He's not self-prescribed either of those. Self-described. Alex Jones is a fucking bullshit liar. This is more bullshit.
That he is. Shit, I covered my face. There we go.
And it's being endorsed by the left as a wonderful new thing. And there's videos of him running around. We go to his YouTube channel and show folks this guy running around beating people up, calling himself and his armed goons the police department.
There's a guy that was spray painting a wall. He came to the guy who's like, hey, man, stop spray painting. This is someone's fucking business. And the guy's like, fuck you, I'll do what I want. And then there was like a scuffle. And the scuffle, I don't even, does it show it on camera? Because I couldn't find a good video of the scuffle.
Absolute self-destructive, complete mental illness of the left.
The complete mental illness of the left.
They create a total and complete collapsed society and call it liberation.
A collapsed society. So this has pissed me off the other night with Jeff, when Jeff Holiday was on the show. He kept saying that they took the fucking police station. They took the police station.
Yeah, we.
The fucking cops abandoned the police station because they couldn't defend it without tear gassing people point blank range that were just peacefully protesting. They look like fucking animals attacking human beings that were just standing there. That's
well, they're just going to abandon the police station. Then how can they complain if anybody moves in, right? It could have been anyone that got in there.
They abandon it, and they don't know how to get it back without force, because guess what? The police don't know how to do a whole lot of shit without force, apparently. And so they're sitting trying to work out a deal with these people. They didn't fucking take over the precinct. It was left there. And I think the cops expected them to burn the sumbitch down, and they didn't. And now they're trying to figure out how to fix this mess.
They made it into the people's department.
The people's is the people. The people. That's legal.
And the Antifa says that they control this sector of the city, and they've appointed a black dictator over themselves.
Nobody appointed anybody.
And then he explains how
the media appointed Raz Simone as the fucking warlord, so they could have somebody with an interesting record, a rapper as the figurehead of all this. He's just somebody out there like many other people that has some charisma and is willing to speak up. And the media grabbed onto him because he's the biggest fucking story. He's this crazy guy with videos of him counting money and guns and playing with a right here. I think they're going to show him with a damn flamethrower.
Oh God!
Shoot everyone.
But it's a video. It's not him at the protest doing it.
Yeah,
man, that's some clean
this
footage.
Is joke level, ladies and gentlemen. And this is not satire. This is not fake. This guy's real. I went and looked it up.
This guy's real.
This is the left's God.
I saw a video. Look at him. He's throwing money out in the streets.
He says he's this Robin Hood guy that's going to kill the mayor and kill everybody and redistribute the money.
Play that lyric. Song. Play that song. Play that song. Play it. Where the fuck is it? Because I'm not going to listen to Alex Jones' interpretation of a fucking rap song. Play it. He's not gonna.
In the real world, he catches some Antifa guy tagging, and he says that's not authorized, so he beats him up and steals his phone. As reparations.
As reparations.
Make it up, because the good people
you are making it up. You are making it up. This is all made up, Alex Jones. This is all a fucking lie.
You can't make this stuff up.
You're sensationalizing all of this, Alex Jones.
I'd say no, and to look at what's going on with Antifa and the communist Chinese government funding it, and just all the crazy things and Planned Parenthood behind it, it's just absolutely insane. And in my view, it's a group meant to frame black people. And everybody's.
So you made up all that other shit, and at the end you tag on communist China, Antifa. Did he say abortions? What else did he fucking tag on there at the end? Just putting everything evil at the end of this?
Everything evil, yes.
As supporting this, it's just pure evil. But Antifa releases list of demands after capturing 6 blocks of downtown Seattle. And, of course, the white communist group running it has gotten a black guy to be the head of it as the front guy. That's not some virtue signaling saying the black guy's a victim. I think he's a bad guy. Just it's so leftist that they're like 99% white.
Look, I want to say the left is victimizing this guy, and also this guy is a warlord piece of shit. I want to make him a victim and a murderous piece of shit at the same time. It's just really hard for me to be so duplicitous with my bullshit lies.
Deliciously duplicious.
Deliciously duplicious.
Seattle autonomous zone warlord.
Token black warlord. Jesus Christ.
It's dubbed Black George Zimmerman. the anarcho-communist autonomous zone near Capitol.
How is he George Zimmerman?
Black George Zimmerman, because, he went down there and he killed that little boy that was spray painting on the
Is
wall.
he shooting white teenagers with Skittles?
Now he's going around autographing bags of Skittles because he killed a little boy.
While he's being community block watch, whatever he is.
Yeah.
Capitol Hill in Seattle, Washington, has reportedly embraced the anarcho-capitalist dream of creating a private vigilante police force.
I don't see the George Zimmerman isn't a good person to compare him to. Even if you're trying to aggrandize what he's doing and make him seem like some revolutionary, pick someone else. George Zimmerman was just some weirdo that thought he could play police officer and kill people, and he got away with it. So whatever.
Oops.
To patrol the streets of the commune, which is now beating up people. In the autonomous zone, the streets are apparently currently controlled by hip-hop artist turned warlord by the name of Raz Simone, who has established an armed private police force.
Warlord shit cracks
that
me up.
does not hesitate to dole out beatings to communal miscreants. But before we get to that, and
did you restart
much
this?
more?
No.
Let's go to a clip here. Man hit by statue torn down by BLM protesters in Virginia.
But I think
he looped in his speech, though. It was kind of, it threw me off. I'm like, wait a second, did it just repeat? No, he read, I think he went to the top page of the wrong piece of paper.
Yeah,
there.
reread the same fucking script. Alex fucking Jones. Alex Jones making warlords and gay frogs.
Yeah, I wonder what his reach is these days. I mean, he's syndicated all over the country on terrestrial radio.
Yeah.
But I'm sure losing YouTube and Twitter hurt him in the long run. I mean, maybe not enough, maybe
people
marginally.
find him. Like, we found fucking that clip somehow.
That's because people upload it to YouTube. Yeah, it's weird. He's banned from YouTube, but other people can upload him to YouTube, like, at least for the sake of fair use, they can. It's interesting.
Strange double standard. He should just upload a parody of himself. Just make fun of himself. Have the top channel on YouTube making fun of himself, cashing in off that, then cashing off AM radio. That'd be great.
You know what? All I need are crazy protest-related stuff to happen in Toledo and Columbus, and then every city I've lived in will have it going on. They had
I want to say more about this, but you guys are right in Seattle, so you can go walk to CHAZ and get mugged or whatever.
I'm not close enough to walk to it, but it is. I mean, it's like a 20-minute drive away. Roughly.
It's exactly where I was doing all of my live streams when I was on Capitol Hill with the drunk guys and stuff, and scraping people off the patio and basically self-policing before it was autonomous. Before it was occupied.
Well, yeah, it's like downtown, right? So it's kind of just a park now to where people can do drugs. But I guess they always did in the parks. I don't know what it is, really. What is it? What is CHAZ, actually?
It's just a 6-block area of downtown Seattle, particularly focused in the nightclub Capitol Hill Broadway section of the gayborhood, where all the gay people are, most concentrated in Seattle. This is where the rainbows are painted in the street. This is like it's a very progressive neighborhood, and most of these businesses, like the nightclubs that are there, are closed down because of COVID anyways. So they're probably bringing more business to these areas than they would be without them there. It's interesting, when you look at exactly how this entire thing fit into place. If these clubs were running and they were under pressure to continue their business throughout this, maybe we'd have a different outlook on these people sitting here in Seattle and protesting. Maybe we would think
basically
differently.
It's not being used anyways, so you may as
not as much. There are people obviously that live there. There are people that work there still.
Yeah, there's a pretty sizable park in that part of the city that most of it's taken over by
about half of it. Yeah, the lower half.
There's people camping out, and they already have a community garden. They have a co-op grocery store. They have all kinds of stuff. I mean, especially in the day, like, it doesn't look like you'd have anything to worry about going there unless you're saying some really crazy stuff in there and like provoking people. So it seems pretty chill. It almost has like a street fair kind of atmosphere from what I've seen.
They're growing tomatoes and human shit. They're delicious.
human pooped.
Oh
hey,
man,
it's kind of like civet
parasites.
coffee.
Yeah.
No, that's why everybody in North Korea has stomach worms. They fertilize their crops with human shit. Please tell me they're not doing that for real.
So here's something.
I don't know.
This street preacher.
Oh, thank God.
This street preacher. I've seen him, like outside of like the stadiums when a sporting event's going on. I recognized him right away. It's the same guy.
Yeah, I think I've sexually assaulted him before too.
Oh yeah. Well, I was gonna say, like, I don't really condone everything they did to him here.
Well, I like this whatever website this is, the Gateway Pundit. This sounds like it's very Christian leaning, maybe, but the title here is, it's not mincing words. What was the title of this article? It's we scroll up. Antifa CHAZ thugs attack, choke, and sexually assault street preacher in Seattle. Video.
I don't necessarily agree.
This was pretty much a sexual assault. It pretty much was. I don't condone this shit. A street preacher.
Okay, yeah.
A street preacher who entered Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone established by Antifa and Black Lives Matter activists in Seattle was attacked by Antifa thugs on Saturday who choked, sexually assaulted, and pinned him to the ground. A Black Lives Matter activist intervened on behalf of the preacher. So you can see these people are surrounding him. He was preaching.
Yeah, and I have a little bit of video footage on this too.
It's not this one.
Yeah, it's. Oh no! You know what? I don't. I have it. I just decided to play it from the video. All right, so here's.
Is this more than Joe Biden has done to one of those little girls he was on stage with? I think so, yeah.
I'm a free citizen in the autonomous zone! I'm a free citizen!
He's doing like sovereign citizen shit in the autonomous zone.
I guess, yeah.
And by the way,
I'm a maritime vessel in the autonomous zone. You cannot touch me.
And by the way, they changed the name, which I think was a bad idea because people are still going to call it the old name. They shouldn't have named it publicly and then tried to change the name. It used to be CHAZ, the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. Now it's CHOP, the Capitol Hill Occupy Protest.
Because it's not an autonomous zone. They don't want it to be some lawless land. It's still America. They're still
I get
Americans.
the reasoning. I'm saying it's dumb. People are still going to call it the old name.
Well, the old name doesn't really apply to what it is.
CHAZ. I knew a guy named CHAZ.
So a video I saw, I don't know if they robbed him. People are saying they robbed this guy. The video I saw, they were like hugging him, and then they started kissing on his face.
Yeah, that happens next.
Yeah.
Get right with God!
He's like hamming it up with his choking. I'd start peeing on them if they were hugging me like that.
It's a love hug.
This fucking sucks, dude. People who use love as force. When love and force meet, that's a little too close to rape for me.
He starts speaking in tongues in a second here.
Jesus, give me strength for the back. What does it feel like to get hugged by
That's the right guy to do it to, though.
What does it
Looks
feel like to
he's
get
having
hugged by a
fun.
homosexual? Watch how he responds. This part's funny. This part's funny how he responds.
Glory to the King.
He starts speaking in tongues, praying his way out of this. And then the fucker, this is just predatory, gross shit. Don't fucking...
Glory to the King.
This is sexual force. This is not cool.
Yeah, this is bad, but it's funny it's happening to this guy, though, I'll say.
Yeah, I mean,
out of all the people,
I love to
he looks
see-
like he's into it.
I love to see weird shit happen to weird people, but this is not how you fucking fight a
What
fight.
Onision did to you was worse than this.
Maybe.
Come on, King of Kings and Lord of Lords.
They're not
You owe me
humping
as
him.
immortality.
They kissed him on his forehead.
They're kissing on him, dude.
They kissed him once on his forehead.
This is
It's not like they're shoving their tongue
This
down
is
his
shitty
throat.
behavior.
Okay.
Well, this guy's game is to like push it up to the line as hard as he can before somebody strikes him.
And this is
seems
poor
like
social
the
distancing.
same thing, but the other way.
The Red Sea is parting. Let the Red Sea part for this man. Let the Red Sea part. Let the Red Sea part.
I'll try it.
Part the Red Sea! Part the Red Sea! Part the Red Sea! Part the Red Sea! Part the Red Sea!
Red Sea ain't going nowhere, part.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah.
She's fucking fashionable.
She's having a good time.
She looks really good, honestly. She looks like she's fucking lit up at the damn protest.
They shouldn't be touching that guy, but whatever. Fuck him. He went out in the middle of that thing with that sign. He's like, and no one will break the law against me. I don't know. You can only feel so sorry. It's kind of like jumping into a lion's cage, right?
They can't be kissing him. That's
no, they
fucked
shouldn't.
up.
It is fucked up. Also, he's kind of fucked up too. So I guess when I see two people do that kind of thing, I'm just like, look at this. It's comedy now. It's not even proving a point. This is just people being animals.
Got to be careful with the A word.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, you know what? And it could have been worse.
I called the cops animals earlier. I don't know if that was live on the show or if I was just doing it in my head, but they were acting as such.
Yeah.
And that's not fair either. We can't dehumanize human beings, even if they are acting like monsters. We have to remember they're people. Because the more we dehumanize human beings, the further we get from them. And to be honest, we're all on the same
This
earth.
guy goes out in public screaming in people's faces, telling them that they're going to hell. I've seen him do it, like this literal guy. I don't think it's sexual assault, honestly. I think, if anything, it was invasion of personal space. It wasn't like they were like... It wasn't even a sexual kiss. It was like a mwah.
If I hold a woman down and start kissing her face, they're going to say I'm sexually assaulting her.
He's not being held down.
He's being held down by a group of people. There's a group of people holding this guy where he's at and kissing on his face.
They kissed him once on his forehead. I think you're
okay. If 9 of my friends hold a woman down, I kiss
this
her
is
once
a
on the
horrible
forehead.
analogy.
I mean, it's pretty fucked up.
He should have been allowed to walk the fuck away, but you know,
He was-
on the same end, he's kind of a douche. So
I mean, he chose to go there. I don't know.
So she
file an assault charge. You know, hell, I don't know if he's really upset about it and it broke his heart. Now he's gonna have to like go see a therapist over the horrible assault that went under him and all
This breaks my heart. I want to be on their side. I want to be supporting these activists. But I don't support this fucking bullshit behavior. I don't like using love as an excuse to brutalize people. That's bullshit.
That's a good point.
This is bullshit. I condemn this. The Lord, in Lord Jesus' name, I rebuke you. Don't fucking use love to assault people or pressure people or brutalize people. That's not what love is for.
I think they were trying to creep him out to make him not want to be there anymore.
Okay, that's great. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, Billy's right. If you take that thing that's supposed to be harnessed and considered, you know, to be a good thing and protected and all that, then use it as a weapon against somebody. It gives it a bad name, you know.
You can't use love as a weapon. That's fucking molestation, in my opinion.
And similarly, this guy, he screams that you're all going to hell. He's not really doing his religion a favor either.
Not at all.
Two groups
Not
of
at all.
people
I'm not on
not
this
doing
guy's
themselves
side
any
either.
favors.
I think this guy's fucking sick in the head puke too. But two wrongs don't make a right. They make a fucked up situation. And this is fucked up.
Both sides look like shit. But I like to think
Billy's
that
a
they're not the
right-wing
majority.
Trojan
But
horse.
I'm not on the right wing side. I'm on the fucking left wing side. I'm Young Jelly Roll on the fucking Liberal Express. And I can't, I don't have to police that fucking guy because I'm not on his team. If I'm going to align with these fucking people, I'm going to be the first to call them out. This shit is creepy as fuck. Joe Biden kissing on little girls is creepy as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
That's creepy as fuck. I'm not going to sit back and let my team be fucking creepers.
People will get up on you, they'll touch you, they'll squeeze on you, they'll kiss on you all through the night, and they don't think two things about it like it's just, you know, I'm sharing love, it's fine. No, you gotta it's not just free to give to everyone, and certainly not good to use as a weapon. Just like, again, this guy with the signs and shit. He should have been allowed to walk out there and scream to his heart's content. But body blocking him and like caging him in and stuff like that, that's a bit too far.
People are saying Billy kissed the drunk girl in the chat.
She kissed me. She creeped on me.
Well, CHAZ looks wonderful. I'm planning a trip real soon. It'll be lovely.
It's the good old days.
See, even he's still calling it CHAZ. The new name.
Yeah. A lot of people are going to call it CHAZ.
They shouldn't have named
CHAZ is a funnier name because all the people that don't like it are going to stick with CHAZ because it sounds like, you know, a guy that would own a yacht club. It's CHAZ.
It makes me think of Chaz Bono, which is the transgender son of Cher and Sonny Bono.
It sticks. So, yeah, it probably isn't going to go anywhere. Nothing you can do about that.
It's the androgynous zone. Feels good, man. Ayo. So we got another news story. We got a brand new news story.
All right. This one's this happened today. I don't really think we need to read over this whole thing, but I just thought this was interesting. So he's doing something so he can say he did something.
Trump signs executive order on policing amid mounting pressure over lethal incidents.
Yeah. Yeah, he did this. He made this announcement earlier today. I watched him talk about it. Maybe we can get a little clip here. Get a little... Oh, shit. Now you can hear me. Clip here. I have to mute myself. Oh, there we go.
When the world
oh, no, we're getting an ad. Fuck this.
Oh, yeah. Sell me cigarettes. Oh.
All right. Sorry. Tech issues.
It's all right.
I thought this was... So, anyway, Trump signed this today. We'll see what it actually entails. I don't know if we've gotten info on what specifically is in this or what he's going to do with his executive order, but he's saying... He's trying to play middle of the road at this point after being divisive for weeks now. Trying to pretend like he's on both sides. It's interesting.
Yeah, and you can't be on both sides on this one. Like,
right.
Both sides are so fucking pissed. They're so angry. If you try to meet anywhere in the middle, they're going to rip you to shreds, especially a politician. So, yeah, he can't hide on this one. He's going to have to pick a side and stick with it.
So, the Canadian border is closed, and a bunch of people are finding a loophole to be able to cross the border. Basically,
how are they doing this?
Oh, okay, so these two people here are a couple. He lives in Canada and she lives in the U.S. He lives in BC, she lives in Washington. There's literally a place you can drive up to where you're in the U.S., there's no fence, and there's a ditch, and it's Canada on the other side of the ditch. So they were meeting up there and talking for a while, and then they decided to get married. Like right at the border where he's on his side and she's on her side. And then that gets things going. Because the border's closed to non-citizens to cross.
Yeah,
for
non-essential reasons.
Yeah, right. So like if they get married and that gives them both dual citizenship, then they could cross the border. So it's this weird loophole.
This is where I like love forcing itself.
Love finds a way. Yeah, here they are right here. This is the ditch. That's the U.S.-Canadian border.
Criminals. Look at these federal border-breaking sons of bitches,
They haven't broke the border yet. They're legal.
It's been months, and this
Throw
is
her back over the border. Let Canada keep her. This is funny as shit. I like it. It's like clearly against the law, kind of, but
It's not. It's not against the law. That ditch is the middle of two countries meeting. They're on each side of they're on their own worlds. That's America over there, Canada over here, and they're just meeting up, doing a little love, having a little life, and maybe one day he'll be able to hit it over that fucking demilitarized zone. He can smash it over the DMZ.
Love can't have a border, but I bet that border has been smashed a dozen times.
Do you think that they fuck in the ditch?
Probably. That's probably why it's a ditch. It was flat before this started happening.
I'd do it. I couldn't stop myself. If the woman I love was right there, I'd be getting some sort of new strain of COVID in that ditch.
It's been months too, so this is how they communicated in person for months, like 30 feet away from each other.
Beats dating online, man. At least you can like throw a rock at him if you're, it's like, hey.
There's a lot of places up there where you could probably cross without even being noticed, but if you get caught, the penalties are pretty bad, so it's not even worth it. Especially if you're dating someone on the other side of the border. You don't want to get banned from crossing again, which can happen. So,
but you could use that border to get citizenship in America, couldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, that's if they get married, they can both apply for citizenship in their respective countries.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's a bargain.
Yeah.
I'm happy for this couple. I hope that they go the long haul and become dual citizens. This is a good show.
Don't they at least get their thing down before they like inevitably axe it and come in and put up a fucking barbed wire fence just because, But
I agree.
why am I shitting on a nice story? Look, they're getting married. They found love across a ditch and across a country.
Yeah, this is because there's a park where, like right when you cross the border, there's a park that's halfway in Canada and halfway in the U.S. And they have this like gate that if you walk through this arch right here, and you can walk through it to go to the other country right there. There's people who literally their house is right on the border. Like there's their house, there's a street, and then there's the border. And then on the other side of the border, there's another neighborhood. There's we have this imaginary line drawn on a map, but there's like a whole neighborhood there where like the only thing that makes it not one congruent neighborhood is that there's an imaginary line on a map right there. So,
yeah, like an exact point of reference for Canada and America starts. I mean, these countries are basically the same thing.
They're very similar. There's no country that's more similar than the U.S. than Canada, and the fact, geography has a lot to do with that, and how our countries were founded, and how they were both, places where immigrants came to from all over the world. It's very similar. There are differences.
It's basically just a border to where if you cross it, you pay different taxes. That's it. It'd be like having to go to a state, and it's like you're visiting our state. We got to pay our taxes. Pretty much same difference.
Yeah, I've known people that were from Canada that lived in the U.S., but if they needed anything medical that wasn't like an emergency, they'd go up to Canada to get it done, and then come back.
Yeah, like I hear you want to get the really like high risk stuff done in America because you're going to pay out the nose for it anyways. But if you're just getting something boiled, or you're getting like a boil lance or a cold or something, why put that on your insurance? Just go to Canada, get it done. I can understand that.
Yeah, so I guess they started a trend too. I think it's like this is another couple right here, and there's the ditch, the border ditch. Wow.
They should have kept quiet about it and let a few people take advantage of it. They're going to shut that shit down.
You think they will?
They're going to put some fat guy there in a little toll booth and be like, you getting married here? Get out now.
There are some parts of the border where all there is like there's no guard for hundreds of miles. There's like an unmanned station where you go in and you declare what you have like through like a video conference. I think it's video. It might just be all audio. But yeah, it's the U.S. Canadian border is way more lax than most. borders outside of Europe.
What's the worst that's going to happen? Like maybe a criminal like passes through up there, or maybe the other way around. But I mean, they're going to be looking for the guy even harder. You really don't. I don't know. Like, it's not a big deal. Why would you stop it? But somebody will. I like this though. People are meeting up. They're getting together across the country, across the border. It's nice. It's easy. It's free, and there doesn't seem to be any kind of wrongdoing going on. I appreciate that.
It's cute. They're in love. But as word started getting out about the lucky loophole at Peace Arch Park, lovesick Americans and Canadians began showing up there to be together. The day after Smith and Bocello tied the knot, Ryan Hamilton, 26, and Savannah Coop, 25, did too. Coop, a Canadian, and her husband also met regularly along O Avenue before the park reopened, with each of their own coffee and snacks for weekly date nights. That's cute. That's cute.
That actually sounds a lot nicer than taking somebody you meet on fucking Tinder to a fucking Chili's or something. At least that has something special to it.
I've done a lot of traveling, and seriously, this area has some of the best looking like backdrops you can ever imagine.
Even in this tiny little window, I see that mountain back there. It looks beautiful. Sure, it's just great to be at.
That's the Cascades, and it runs like from up in British Columbia all the way down into, I think, maybe even Northern California. I know it goes pretty far down into Oregon, at least. So, yeah, it's really nice. Yeah, there's mountains and you know, there's seawater because it's near the ocean. There's lakes everywhere. It's very green. There's evergreen forests everywhere. It's one thing about Seattle that I've noticed, and Vancouver and Portland, because these three cities are all really close together. Vancouver, Seattle, and Portland are only like a few hours drive away from one another, and they're like the three cities of their size that are like the closest to nature that I've ever been to, where it's like you're in a city that's pretty highly populated, but just outside of it is like a rainforest, you know, or like some mountains. And that's very unique to me. Like we're like the complete contrast is like New York City, where like the only outdoorsy thing you get is Central Park right in the center, that's surrounded by skyscrapers. Yeah. Normally it's the skyscrapers surrounded by wilderness, but it's the opposite there. It's kind of weird.
We're in Seattle here. We're like near rainforests. We're near deserts. We're near oceans. Yep. We're near lakes. We're near rivers. We're near mountains. We're near volcanoes. We have so much.
And that's like the whole region. That's the whole like Cascadia region, you know? It's pretty big. But yeah, the desert part of Washington, a lot of people don't, when they think Washington, they think Seattle, rainy, which by the way, sometimes in the summer here, it dries up. It doesn't rain for like 2 or 3 months, and all the grass turns brown, and we get wildfires. But even when it's rainy over here, east of the mountains, it's super dry. You'd think you were in like Nevada or something. It looks like that.
See, I wouldn't guess if you told me, hey, there's deserts over in Washington. I guess I would just believe you at your word, but I'd be like, I never thought.
It's that mountain range that creates it, because it blocks a lot of the wet weather that comes off the Pacific and traps it in the Seattle area, and then it doesn't make it across, and that area becomes very dry as a result of it. So our side of the mountain is more temperate, more rainy, and then the other side is way more dry. And it gets way hotter in the summer over there too, but also sometimes it might snow. It gets way colder in the winter over there. So it's kind of a give and take.
Well, outside of the autonomous zone, it sounds nice.
I have no desire to go to the autonomous zone. I feel like 20-year-old me would probably be sleeping there, because like I was really into crazy shit like that. But if I felt like I really had to go, I'd go during the day. That seems cool. I think a lot of the really crazy stuff pops off at night, and a lot of the crazy stuff happens to people who are causing trouble. Like if you go there and you're not talking shit or doing something, it's chances are no one's gonna fuck with you. You know.
Well, I've seen videos of like troublemakers out there, and I've worked in city environments before, and these aren't like different people. It's the crack addict. It's the guy who's just always angry at everybody. Here comes the person who screams at people on the sidewalk. It's those kind of people. I haven't seen too much in the way of like organized crime. It seems more like just a giant block party. But
I mean, like when we had the protests in Bellevue, which is where we are now, which is across a lake from Seattle. When the protests happened here, there was an organized effort. Like while the protests were going on and the cops were distracted, a bunch of people came and looted the mall. And those people were not involved with the protests. Even the police here said that they weren't the protesters; they were just opportunists.
Yeah,
So
out of towners are going to flood in during a riot situation and make out some flat screens for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like it's a really higher class kind of mall too. Like the stores there are more expensive, and it's not the stores you'd normally see at a mall too. So there was a lot of like crazy looting. And I think the mall's still boarded up and hasn't even opened yet, even though some of the restaurants and stuff over there have opened since. I wonder if Fogo's open yet with their broken window. Fogo got destroyed. I was sad. I was like, oh, I like that place. Damn.
Mr. Captain Snack says the Proud Boys who used to always cry about being jumped while holding their protests are jumping people in and around CHAZ. Of
course.
Do we have video of that? Like,
I believe that it happens. It's both sides always do this. They claim they're being treated unfairly, therefore it's okay to do what they condemn the other side for doing. It's such bullshit.
That's why I have a hard time picking a side in any of it. Like, one, I don't like the property damage, and people who own businesses in the autonomous zone aren't going to get a check or nothing for any of that. They're just fucked. I mean, even if it's like, oh, well, they're closed down because COVID. They're actively getting fucked by COVID.
The liquor store in the autonomous zone.
These other people.
The liquor store in the autonomous zone is doing really well.
I think a lot of the businesses that are open there are doing really well because
not Trader Joe's. Did you hear about that?
What happened at Trader Joe's?
Trader Joe's closed and laid everybody off. The one in Capitol Hill.
The one in Capitol Hill.
That's right there, right on the edge of the autonomous zone.
It must be right outside of the zone.
Yeah. Yep.
Why'd they close?
Because of what's going on there. But people were going and buying food and stuff from there still. So. And then they were getting shit on Twitter for it because of it. I don't know.
Well, as long as you're not getting your shit fucked, it sounds nice. But if you're like under the thumb over there, I mean, people still haven't got their checks from the COVID thing. So a lot of people are coming from that virus to, oh shit, our establishments are being burnt down or what have you. Pick one. Or I lost my job because my place got, broken into. So those people are getting real shit hammered. And that sucks, but they're not going to get too much attention. I think everything is a little bit too fucked up all around,
Yeah, I agree.
Sucks.
I get it. Yeah, hopefully things calm down eventually and the people get the change that they need. It seems like we're closer to that now than we've been in a long time. And I just hope it works out. Yeah, did you hear about this? Yeah, these cops in New York City went to Shake Shack, drank some milkshakes, and all of them got sick afterwards, and they were suspecting that they were poisoned in some way, but no one's been charged, and this is it's a hard time for the cops to act like they're victims, but maybe they were. Obviously, poisoning someone who's trusting you to pour them a drink depending on what it was, if it's bleach like they're claiming, that's attempted murder.
If I was a cop, it might be bleach. If I was a cop, I probably wouldn't go to any restaurants.
Cops are used to going into places too, and sometimes even getting a discount.
Well, yeah, but like right now, I think I'd be packing my lunch. I don't think I'd be trusting anybody right now.
If I saw this many people in the world hated me, and I've been under the scope of a lot of that shit before, but if I knew the whole city, like at least half of it, had their eyes on me locally where I live, everybody's staring me down and going, that motherfucker, I would not pull through a fast food restaurant ever.
I wouldn't be ordering milkshakes. I'd be if I was drinking something, I'd be drinking something I poured myself from a fountain machine or an unopened bottle. I'd be eating sandwiches that were pre-wrapped from the fucking store. I go to Subway or Chipotle where they make it right in front of me so I could see spit free. I would not be eating fucking people's spit or bleach. 3 police officers on protest patrol said they felt sick after taking a drink from the shake. One reporter the shake had a bleach smell.
So one claims it smelled like bleach. Bleach is... Why would you drink it? Or did you just take like one little sip? I don't know.
If it was like chocolate chip mint, the bleach might blend in with the mint.
I don't think so.
If it had bleach in it, right, you could take the tainted milkshake to anybody, any kind of even a chemist, not even like a forensic person. Just be like, hey, is there bleach in this? And they could probably tell you within 10 minutes, like, hey, there is bleach in here.
Yeah.
So they were taken to the hospital, treated and released. Early Tuesday morning, NYPD Chief of Detectives Rodney Harrison said an investigation found no criminality. After a thorough investigation by the NYPD's Manhattan South investigators, has been determined there was no criminality by Shake Shack's employees. So, but they test the fucking shakes? They test their vomit, their stomachs for bleach?
If the shakes were still around to test.
Well, they said officers could be seen collecting evidence.
If somebody were on drugs or some shit, they put them on an Epicac and have them barf it up into a bag and put it through a fucking chem test so they can't find out whether
How
or
would
not,
you like to have that job?
Tainted.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some people really like that job, dude. Be like, yeah, dude, drink the barf juice. Do it.
And then you got to collect and test the barf.
Honestly, these cops probably just got done beating down a homeless man, and they got sick from whatever was on the homeless man's skin. So the officers collected evidence, including bags of food and milkshakes, and workers were questioned. No one was ever arrested or charged. Detectives are looking at whether the shake machine was improperly cleaned, and cleaning fluid remnants remaining inside at the time of the offered shakes were prepared.
That's a possibility because sometimes bleach is used as a cleaner and disinfectant. Who knows?
Yeah, but right now,
I know people that work in fast food. Those machines are a bitch. You got to take them all apart, clean them down. I used to good. You can't just pour water.
I used to work at Wendy's and clean the Frosty machine, and that shit gets nasty.
They shut down. They shut down the vanilla side of the Frosty machine at night. Because I don't want to make vanilla Frosties that late.
Wendy's has got some serious issues because that guy was killed at Wendy's. So they went and set the Wendy's on fire, which it wasn't Wendy's that had him killed.
Yeah.
So that was kind of bullshit.
Also, Wendy's.
Wendy's is running on they're getting a major beef shortage because of COVID.
Poor Wendy's.
Wendy's beef has been said to be processed through prison labor. like they're all over the place right now. Fucking Dave Thomas.
Dave Thomas has been dead for 20 years.
Dave Thomas is rolling over in his grave, and his hot little redhead daughter is taking it
now,
up upside the head.
When you say it's made by prison labor, where'd you get that from?
Some official website. I can't remember the name of it.
The Wendy's.com.
Yeah,
Our
Wendy's
beef is made
Wendy's,
with 100% prison
They
labor.
said that on their
Wendy's
own
beef
website?
is processed through not the Wendy's website.
Oh, okay.
It was a website that was pointing out prison labor usage from big companies.
Propaganda website.
I mean, maybe. It's all propaganda everywhere.
No, it's not.
This here is propaganda.
Some's way more credible than others. You just read everything as if it's true when you first read it.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I make up so much shit. I don't care if something's true.
I do.
I just talk to talk. I'm telling jokes, man. I read this. I believe it. If it's wrong, then we'll redact. The president doesn't fast check.
I think it's unlikely they got their milkshakes bleached because I don't know everybody on the planet, but I know a person who got bleach poisoning before. It's a little bit worse than a tum-tum ache.
A tum-tum
my
ache?
belly hurts. I drank a little bleach. No, you are not moving. You're in the fucking ER. You're puking. You are puking. Like, that's almost a given. So there should be like barf bags or something laying around. You know what I mean? That they should be able to have just tested for this. And I feel bad that the people working the Steak Shack, who are getting like $1 above minimum if they're lucky, had their whole day fucked with because some cops got a tum-tum ache.
Let's go back to this tweet down here.
Oh, okay.
With the fucking sirens in it.
Oh, okay. Right here.
Urgent safety message. Who posted this?
The detectives
NYCPDDEA.
Yeah.
Tonight, 3 of our fellow officers were intentionally poisoned by one or more workers at the Shake Shack at 200 Broadway in Manhattan. Fortunately, they were not seriously harmed. Please see the safety alert. So, hold up.
They reported it as a fact, even though it hadn't been confirmed that they had been poisoned. It is. I mean, maybe they got food poisoning. That's more likely than them pouring bleach in their.
I would
food.
say 3 of our officers
got sick after eating at
this Chipotle. Be careful, guys. Or
Right.
That's Chipotle. Well, everything's Chipotle to me. At this Shake Shack, it's all Chipotle. It's like Coke.
I don't get urgent safety messages when the fucking restaurant across the street fails a health inspection and gives a bunch of people salmonella. So yeah, it is kind of weird to see his safety alerts. Like 3 people got sick tum-tums over Choco Shakes at the Steak Shake. Like, man, that shit happens every day. It's not great, but I don't know. I just think if it happened to any of us, there wouldn't be an alert message anywhere about it.
No, there wouldn't be.
According to the Malta JusticeInitiative.org.
Oh my God.
Wendy's has also been identified as relying on prison labor.
Malta JusticeInitiative.org.
Yeah, this is
totally
Malta,
not
dude.
a propaganda website. Literally the fucking name. I like how you didn't even know where you heard it from. You heard it from a fucking propaganda website.
Well, I heard it from Globaltel. But this is also Malta. Malta says the company uses inmates for manufacturing purposes. The company hires inmates to clean products of UPC barcodes so that products can be resold. They also have inmates process beef for patties, according to the MaltaInitiative.org. That's a reputable website.
No, it's not.
Is it not?
All right.
Man.
So I wanted to show this. There was some crazy stuff that happened at the protest in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Before we go there, really quick, everyone who's watching right now, please like the stream. If you could like the stream, that would be great.
Like the stream, even if you hate it.
Yes. Here we go. So they're taking down, in front of the Albuquerque Museum, there is a statue of Spanish conquistadors. So now they're pulling that down. I'd hate to break it to some of these people, though. Some of them might be related to Spanish conquistadors. I mean, just point it out. Like if your last name is like Cortez or De Leon or something like that, chances are. All right, so this guy shot somebody after this shit happened. The guy in the blue shirt.
Yeah.
So he was getting really aggressive, and we have a few different video angles of it.
Yeah, so this one here, see, that looks like a WWE chair shot. That skateboard hit right there, it looks so fake to me. I think it's the way the video process. But as you can see, this guy's walking away now.
He got his gun in his hand?
Yeah, he's got his gun out. He's being attacked by skateboarders and stuff. And they're chasing him down.
Was this before or after the shooting?
Before.
Okay.
See, now he's walking away.
Some horrible camera work.
And now somebody came to tackle him.
Yeah,
And
first
he's
one
being-
misses, the second one gets him.
He's got like multiple people on him with skateboards. And
I heard the gun pop
Yeah, that
off.
was the gun popping off. And now all these freedom fighters are screaming, run. They're screeching, run, and running away.
All right, so here's a few more views of that. There's the guy in the blue again.
Yeah, there's the guy in the blue. This is the gun man.
Blue satchel guy.
So he's got this girl who's in his way. He just throws her around. She's trying to block him off.
Whoa!
He goes and chucks her down. That's what starts the fuck this guy. Fuck this guy.
Yeah, you kind of should expect to get fucked with when you do that kind of shit, but what do I know?
Who made him the keeper of the statues? Like I don't get it.
Ben, don't you know?
I think he did.
It's the royal order. They passed it on to him to be the keeper of the statues. The royal order, Benjamin.
Is that from that Malta
There's another
website
push there.
too?
Yes.
Okay.
It's passed down from the royal order as the keeper of the statues. Okay, now is that the blue guy back there climbing up?
Yep.
What the fuck is he just keep throwing people down?
He's got to be king of the hill. He's got to get to the top. He's about to lose.
Yeah, what is up with this fucking guy?
Get off there, bitch. It's my statue.
You notice he's only attacking women too?
I know.
What a piece of shit. And then when dudes start attacking him, then he pulls out a gun and shoots one of them.
Well,
luckily the person survived. It's craziness. And in Albuquerque, so many people have a gun. I've never lived in another place where more people on average have a gun. It's crazy. It's like the Wild West still.
It's New Mexico.
Nuevo Mexico.
And this is another angle. These are the fucking, I don't know, the Crocodile Dundees or something. Guarding the statue.
I'm having a good old time.
Get their names.
Look at them.
They're like some kind of stupid fake militia bullshit. They like
We're
to go
gonna
around
come out and play too, guys. Everybody's
Yeah.
just tired and bound up and stuck at home. It's like, we'll take our assault rifles out. Let's tear down a statue.
Let's play
Come on,
G.I.
everybody,
Joe.
get involved.
Their names.
G.I. Joe.
I guarantee you they didn't give a shit about these statues before this happened.
They're LARPing.
You know who they're with. We know where they live.
They want to be the warlords of CHAZ. Raz Simone looks like a way cooler fucking warlord than these guys do.
Well, I think these guys are on the other side.
Of
These
course,
guys are
yeah.
right wingers.
I'm saying though, like Raz is the one that you want to be behind because he's the cooler one.
Dude, sick Nirvana shirt behind Yokel there.
If you want to stay civilized. Hey!
Raz looks like
Hey, get your hands off of him! Zoe, back up!
now. I was gonna say something I think was racist, so I'm not gonna say it.
Get your
There you go.
Raz looks like an actual king. These guys look like king of the hill.
What happens when the city lets these fucking right-wing lunatics out here with their guns?
This fucking guy is hot takes.
Yeah, he's fired up, man. He's ready to scream.
So he's trying to get away now?
Get his face!
Has a weapon! Cop! You have a weapon!
Cop!
You are a cop! Go!
He's not even a cop.
He's a son of a cop, I guess.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
He's like, I know somebody in the police department when he's getting busted.
Can we just back up and ignore them, please? There's only going to be problems for people.
This guy had a journey today. Wow.
Let's have this conversation. I think it's important.
Yeah, throwing all those girls around, getting beat up by all those skateboards, shooting people.
Yeah, throwing broads around, getting hit by skateboards, getting in the middle of people's fights.
This guy's had the worst day ever. And this is where it starts to break out.
Here's green skateboard guy. He's running.
You know, this guy was a city council candidate at one point.
Yeah.
It's pretty hilarious.
I wonder why he lost.
Yeah, the lack of social distancing disturbs me all the way around.
That's another reason not to go to CHOP.
I think that's like the only reason I haven't really gone down there.
Oh, yeah, you don't want to get the Rona, no.
I like to say that it's because I don't want to bring unwanted attention to it, because I always feel like I do. But it's like I'm really still scared of getting the cough.
Oh, it ain't ended yet. People are still talking about opening up conventions and stuff, and I'm thinking that's kind of
PAX got announced it's going online. VidCon's online.
Online?
Yeah, online conventions now. They're going
boring.
Online's fine. It's boring, but at least folks ain't gonna die. But if they host a furry convention, like
the only thing that makes VidCon worth going to is hanging out with people when outside of the actual convention. So I'm not gonna sit and watch the VidCon bullshit that I would normally ignore anyway. You know.
You know what though? We should do like counter programming for VidCon that week and get all of our friends we'd hang out with anyways and set up panels all across everybody's websites and do like counter VidCon from home. That'd be pretty fucking cool.
just out get more views than VidCon itself and make their stupid thing irrelevant. I like that idea. That's a fun way.
I'm not
going to
get jumped in CHAZ. You guys are stupid. Thinking I'm going to get jumped in CHAZ. Like, that's my neighborhood. That's Seattle, man.
I would say that CHAZ probably is safer than downtown Detroit. Like, if we're going to measure murder capitals of America and shit like that, from what I've seen down there, I haven't seen massive shootouts and anything. It's mostly people just whipping the shit out of each other. But usually it's the same kind of fuckheads you'd see downtown anyways. Like I said, the crackhead, the person who's prone to violence after drinking.
It's mostly just people hanging out and talking and doing whatever. Like, stuff happens from time to time. But they try to weed out the bad apples. Like,
oh, man. There was a video. There was a fire started in CHAZ, Capitol Hill.
See, it's still going to be called CHAZ, no matter what. It's stuck. That name is stuck.
They call it CHOP so they aren't look like they're trying to secede from the union. That's their way of protecting themselves. It's not it's not a brand change. It's a safety change so the president doesn't come in thinking they're seceding. They're like, we're not seceding. We're the fucking Americans.
He'll come in.
We're Americans.
It doesn't matter. I mean,
but as long as they're on record saying they're not fucking seceding, they're not domestic terrorists, they're just protesting human beings. That's what it's for. That's what the name change is for. So people know that that's where they land. But that being said, there was a video of a fire that went out, and they were all having to put out the fire. And as they put the fire out, there's this Steven Spielberg looking cameraman with a full-on professional camera. He's walking away. It looked like dude started a fire down there just to make some fucking video footage. And they had to go put it out. They follow him away. And it's like, geez, that's the type of shit they have to put up with. They have to put up with all the opportunists that want to come into this hotbed zone and start some shit.
Yeah, an Instagram thought wants to come in and light a building on fire and then do the butt pose in yoga pants in front of the burning building.
Flame emoji.
It's ridiculous.
Had a riot
they should
at
knock
CHOP.
the building over on her. Go, okay, yeah, burn it down. Then just put a couple of charges under it, tilt the building over. There you go. There's your picture.
Flame emoji. Had a riot down at CHOP. Thick thighs matter.
All right, everyone, please like the stream. Please make sure you're still subscribed. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on all the social media that we have linked below. Help support the show, whether that be the free ways by following us, retweeting us, all of that, or helping us out, helping us reach our bonus show goal. Get yourself an actual maniac, one of these guys. It's me and my mask that I hardly wear anymore because it's uncomfortable to wear. I do not know how I wore this mask for years, every show.
I know how.
Well, now, when I put it on, it's so uncomfortable. I'm like, fuck this. I do not want to wear this anymore.
You didn't care about the uncomfortability. You wanted to remain anonymous, Ben. And then you know what you did? You took off the mask like when Iron Man came out at the end as Tony Stark.
It was part of it was the mystery too, you know?
Well, it's fun to keep a question alive, right? Like, what does Ben look like? What does he look like? So, keep that rolling. But, yeah, I've always watched that. I've watched you on the show. I'm like, I like this. But the guy in the mask, how's that? How can he do that for 4 hours without getting...
Yeah, and...
can't imagine.
We did this one thing where we had a fundraiser, and if we met the goal, I would take the mask off. But we didn't mention that I had another mask on under it. So I took the mask off, and there was another mask under it. It was hilarious.
The face reveal on YouTube is like some kind of tradition. It's like, what does he really look like?
Yeah,
can we see his face? I think that Critical guy had that happen once.
No one knew what Armored Skeptic looked like, and we had him do a face reveal on our show here. And in that same show, I accidentally revealed my face from the tip of my nose down to the bottom of my jaw, and people were trying to piece my face together from different photos where you could see part of my face. It was so dumb. Oh my god!
Now you just give it away for free.
Yeah, I don't care. I gave the reveal was for free, dude. I could have, man. There could have been a crazy cash in on that. I was just tired of wearing it. All the stuff I have to look at and keep track of when you're looking through two eye holes the whole time.
Yeah,
it's just awful. There's a big thing in the middle.
Hosting, right?
Yeah, you got walleye vision almost. It's really weird. All right,
walleye.
I think it's time for Streamlabs.
Well, I got some good news, Ben. This is going to be short and sweet because they've already been read out loud.
Oh, did all of them get read out
Period
loud?
Arc said, better watch out. He'll show you his Emmy Award. I'm talking about Chris Hansen. Ooh. Lord of Nurgle said, what would you rather watch, Onion Boy's OnlyFans or Shanny's OnlyFans? And Ben picked Shanny, and I picked Onion Boy. And what did you pick? Our good friend Hellbent.
Me? Is death an option?
Yes.
Okay, death. Thank you.
And that gets us all the way finished with Streamlabs, and that whole thing that we were doing earlier with the technical issues we were having was all just to get Streamlabs working on my computer because of a weird update thing.
I had to get up and go over and click on the link for Billy to get into it. First I had to re-add his access.
Yeah.
So there's a link you send him for him to use to get into it. So I did that. But then he was added, but then he couldn't see what we needed him to see.
Yeah.
So, and that's under shared access in settings. You go to settings and you go to shared access, and then you'll see all the, any place that you have shared access to. That's how that works.
Hey, Razriel, R.A. gave us that 20 money with the puking dog. Thank you. So that makes it easier. But that's what we were doing, and we didn't even need it. We didn't even need it because we fucking already got the things read out. Hi-ya! But.
Okay, so that's all of them. Wow.
Yeah. Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Some are more money. Monetarily.
Do we have any other news articles worth looking at before we move on? This is interesting. We can just read the headline and talk about this.
Actors dressed as Black Panthers in Atlanta protests say they're sorry.
Yeah, so a group of people dressed like they were Black Panthers.
They were
showed
LARPing?
I guess we'll look at
Cosplay? Last week, a group of armed men and one woman wearing body armor and carrying what looked like AR-15s appeared at a Black Lives Matter protest in Georgia. Some of the group, who were all clad in black, wore berets with the supposed imagery of the Black Panther movement, while a single white guy among them wearing the same uniform stood out. I just want everyone that's here to know that we are the new Black Panthers, said the lone woman.
Oh, my God.
Man, you know what? They should bring back the Nation of Domination. Remember the Nation of Domination in wrestling?
Yeah.
They were basically
That's how The Rock got big.
Yeah, they were basically just like the Black Panthers of wrestling.
They had a couple white guys, like Owen Hart was in the Nation. For
Yeah,
a
that
while.
was at first, right? Or was it after?
It might have
the
been
first
after.
Nation was Farouk, Savio Vega, and Crush, right? But then they split off into straight up like biker races versus Barrio.
DOA.
DOA versus the Barrio. It was bikers versus Barrio versus the Black Panthers, basically.
Yeah.
And they would have straight up race riots on Monday Night Raw.
Right.
It was fucked up.
Yep.
It was entertaining as hell, though. But it was fucked up.
Yeah, so these are fake Black Panthers.
We're here as a visual representation of equality, she continued. You have a right to bear arms. You do not need a license to carry a rifle. You need a license for a handgun. When we represent our rights, people see and they understand. Days after that, the group mysteriously reappeared carrying weapons at an Atlanta Black Lives Matter march, except now it claimed to be a new group, Black Panther Revolutionaries Atlanta chapter. In Facebook posts on Tuesday, the actual leader of the new Black Panthers party, Hashim Nzinga, denounced the fake Black Panthers as most likely an FBI-led group and clarified that his organization under no circumstances has white members. The new Black Panthers Party has been condemned by original Black Panthers, and the Southern Poverty Law Center has listed them as a hate group. Images and video of the group went viral on Twitter and were picked up by tabloids. In a viral thread, a Twitter user suggested that these people were actors and had some convincing evidence, including that the patches the group wore weren't Black Panther insignias, but from the 66th Infantry Division. At least two of these people are Atlanta-based film and television actors. Vice has confirmed. The two explained why they were at the protests and why they wore what they wore. Both said they were not actually affiliated with any official Black Panther movement.
Oh, shit, sorry.
But like almost everyone at the protests, they care deeply about Black Lives Matter movement and the fight for racial justice after the police killing of George Floyd. The news of the group were actors was also reported and confirmed by the Atlanta Journal-Institution last night. Vice independently verified and spoke to another member of the group for more details.
I'm just going to say it's a bad idea to go dressed up in mask representing some group that you're not a part of. That's a real good way to get hurt.
No,
they're lucky they didn't get fucked up, man.
The bad thing here is that the white guy wasn't dressed up as Forrest Gump. That would have been great. He's like, I'm sorry I ruined your Black Panther party. That would have been great.
Now, I don't know where these guys are coming from, though. Were they just trying to get attention? Did they have an actual goal? Were they really trying to, like, we're the Black Panthers now? Are they that stupid, or were they just out there fucking with people?
Yeah, was it a troll?
Troll!
I'm thinking the latter.
Stabby Twisted Indica called out my reading. It's very poor tonight. It's very poor. Yeah, my reading's very poor tonight. I was feeling it too, and now Stabby called it out. I don't know what to say, guys. I'm off. I blame
fucking Tuesday.
I blame mainstream media, dude. I blame the whole world but myself. Everybody but myself is at fault for my poor reading.
Of course.
I blame the
I
school
appreciate
system.
you reading, Billy.
Thank
I've
you.
read some awful things before, and having to read for everybody else, you're doing them a favor.
I've read some awful things about myself before on the internet. People calling me an RA blank IST word.
Yep.
Both versions. Fill in the blank, man. Fill in the blank. They call
Next segment.
Next segment.
But they love you deep down.
It was really bad. Wow.
I should turn off the goddamn internet.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, don't touch me.
I'm gonna touch me, DP.
Don't touch me, DP. Antagonism. And a baggagism.
What? Salish Sea Black Flag.
All right.
This was just something Billy just sent to me.
Oh, is this the Proud Boys?
Yeah.
Beating up somebody?
Oh,
Proud
yeah,
Boy,
they stole this dude's cell phone.
They beat up this... Man.
He puts up a pretty decent fight for having like 5 guys. Granted, they're not like trying to kill each other or nothing, but it should have been a lot easier for them to take his cell phone if that was their goal.
Are those guys all Proud Boys?
I think so.
In the fucking mom's minivan?
Oh, man, no matter the affiliation,
Mom,
taking
can we
the mom's
borrow your
minivan to go steal
minivan to
someone's
play
cell phone?
Nazi?
Dad, can I borrow your baton? I promise I'm not going to do nothing bad with it.
That
This
dude,
is high school
you see
shit.
that guy whiff? That guy's such a pussy, man. The skinny dude, look at him. He's got a look at him.
I'll
Is
get
that
you
Nick
my
Fuentes?
baton.
Who is
that Nick Fuentes?
No, it's not.
God damn
This
it.
is
Dude, they got
Why does it
the.
look like Nick Fuentes?
Did you see their Proud Boy logo? It's the Sonics logo, but instead of Sonics, it says Proud Boys.
Really?
Yeah. This guy's hoodie right here. See?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No. And then this guy's wearing a San Francisco hoodie? Like, they're just spitting on the face of Seattle.
There are 4
Are
guys.
these people joking too?
There are 5 guys on one here, and they're so ineffective. It's unbelievable.
We broke
Oh
your
my
cell phone and
God.
bopped your head.
That guy is-
I mean, granted,
That guy's wrist was like the limpest punch I've ever seen. Looked like he was
yeah,
petting
being hit
a
in the back
kitten.
of the head is like one of the worst things you can do to somebody. But when your wrist is like a wet sink sponge, you don't even feel it. That guy probably isn't even aware he got hit.
A punch to the back of the head from a man that actually knows how to punch would normally knock someone out. Like,
Yeah.
if it, like, that close to the back of the head, they don't even allow punching to the back of the head in UFC because of how bad it is. So,
If you can get 3 shots to the back of someone's dome and they're able to get up and tackle your fucking friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of phones being thrown around here.
What a little noodly armed bitch.
He keeps coming back for more too, man.
God.
They're very ineffective.
I should join the Proud Boys just so they have some muscle. This is pathetic. Look, I was
gonna make another joke, but I don't want to like have someone take me seriously.
Yeah.
The one looks like someone I know kind of from far away.
The guy with the baton kind of looks like racist Peter Pan because he's got the tights on.
He's got skinny jeans on.
Those really are tights, aren't they?
He went to Hot Topic and bought some skinny jeans while he was getting ready for his.
It's the Proud Boys, not the Lost Boys.
Oh,
Proud
no, it said
Boys
Dead
like
Boys
me
on the
are
shirt.
free.
Man, the video was low res. Sorry.
Somebody needs to bleach that fucking flag white. These guys need to give up.
He does a little twirl
Oh
with
my
his baton.
God, he loves his baton.
I practiced with this for 2 weeks for this. We stole his cell phone.
He's a Harry Potter LARPer, and that's his magic wand. Now the guy getting tackled by 5 guys just having a conversation with them.
Right. He's not bleeding or anything. And the messed up thing is, I'm going to beat you up and rob you and then take a tracking device of yours with me so they know where I went with it. It's so dumb. I hope they all get arrested.
Hey, got that right?
Man, this 5-on-1 and the guy's at their door talking shit. That's so dude, they're so pathetic.
They're getting away at a blistering 15 miles
Dude,
per
he doesn't
hour.
even look
at him
like he
go.
got jumped by 5 guys.
And this guy doesn't look like the type of man that would defend himself from an attack of 5 guys.
Right.
You know? It'd be one thing if this guy was a peak athlete. He looks like Bobby Hill from King of the Hill. My guy just
He does look like Bobby Hill.
He fed it off
a
5
lot.
dudes. He fed it off 5 dudes. Damn it, Bobby. They took my phone, Dad. Oh.
He's ready to give an interview. Like right after getting his ass kicked, he's like, well, they took my phone. It's great. They're real affected. They're real scary men.
So here's one of them, I guess.
He was a Sounders soccer fan. The man in the previous tweet, and Sounders soccer fan, he thought was Antifa. Staggs was recently fired from his job as a security officer. So his Seattle chapter organizer Staggs has attacked several people, including the man in the previous tweet and a Sounders soccer fan. So this is the guy here, Zachary Thomas Staggs.
Yes.
This isn't Bobby Hill, is it?
No.
That was Antifa. Man, white people do all look the same.
I don't think they look
Oh,
the same.
so they're just outing all these guys here?
Yeah.
So was this the guy? Tustila, Tiny Tosi, Portland Proud Boy, Patriot Prayer?
Yeah, that was the big guy, the biggest of them all with the glasses and the bald head.
Yeah. Tiny is known for attacking protesters in Portland and as right-hand man for Christo-fascist Patriot Prayer founder Joey Gibson.
Man, it must be weird to not be white and be a member of a Nazi group.
Ooh, right below, we have Peter Pan.
Oh, here he is.
Cole
oh,
Scott.
my God.
Hello, Cole Scott here.
I can fly.
Proud boy. I'm a Portland Proud boy. So this is Cole Scott, and he's going to be auditioning for the part of Never Grow Up. Oh, my God.
Oh, hell. My 24-inch pythons.
Oh,
Be careful,
my
I tripped
God.
over a molecule on my way here.
Is this the symbol they say is like they say is like alt-right or whatever?
Yeah, like it started out as a troll
And
from
this fucking guy-
from Kekistanis, but now it's become a legitimate racist symbol. The OK symbol has been ruined by. Eventually, we just have to agree to stop letting them ruin things.
Yeah.
like this type of shirt that you see them wear here.
This
is
is-
their Perry shirt that only they're allowed to wear now.
Yeah, I'm gonna get me a Perry shirt. I'm gonna go
Hawaiian
around
shirts,
doing this.
Hawaiian
I'm
shirts.
gonna go around doing this while I'm blowing people, because that's what a Proud Boy is to me—a little fucking blowjob. You're a bad blowjob. Frankie, aka Francesco Hernando, real name unknown. Frankie is known for operating multiple social media accounts, which he uses to harass leftists. And this is okay. He's harassing leftists. This is getting like was he there at the fight? Was he what? Wait, hold up. Oh, that's a little kid.
Yeah.
I'm like, does he have a
probably his
mini-me? Does he have a
It's
like?
probably his nephew or son.
Is he
or
Dr.
something.
Evil?
I'm so glad my parents never like made me wear matching outfits to them. That's
Man, if I
very
got dragged
weird.
out in the woods to wear like star-spangled whatever the fuck that is, I'd be scared as shit. I'd be like, are we gonna die?
I remember when I was a little kid, my dad got me a pair of cowboy boots because he wore cowboy boots, and he was a little.
That's
happy.
different than him wearing an entire outfit, especially a ridiculous
An ensemble,
outfit
you
like
know,
this.
matching outfits like that.
Yeah, with a bow tie.
Like he could have taken them out fishing. They could have got their fishing gear together in little vests and all that, and had a fun family outing instead.
A bow tie
gonna
is
hang out
child
next to this
abuse
tree.
in of itself. Yeah, so these must all be Seattle area Proud Boys.
Portland area. It seems to be Northwest area.
So they're okay.
Oh, snap!
Oh, there's Proud Boy Barbie, basically. She's kind of weird looking. Like
I don't know about that. What I do know, you're gonna notice her in a crowd.
She looks like she's really small.
You're
too.
not gonna forget that face.
She's got some jowls. I'm not trying to be
Yeah.
judgmental, but like from an artistic standpoint, if I was gonna like create her in WWE and I had to like take the jowl button and like go grrr all the way over.
I just watched Men in Black 2 the other night. These people all could be aliens. They could all
that'd
be
be great.
aliens.
At least that would ease my thoughts about it a little bit. Come on.
They need a new Men in
Aliens.
Black just to make the Proud Boys the fucking bad guys, and they're all weird fucking felching aliens.
That would be a more interesting movie than the latest one they put out. I'd watch it.
I didn't watch the latest one. Was it sweet?
Nobody did. It's Men in Black International. Imagine Men in Black if you took out Will Smith and made everybody British.
Damn it.
Yeah, it sounds great, right?
Yeah.
Here's Jesse Lee Peterson
Oh no.
saying that if you resist arrest, you're basically forfeiting your life at that moment. So if you resist arrest, you should accept whatever's coming to you.
Well, ain't no violence. It's called change.
Does it bother you that assaulting a cop is a felony 1? Taking a taser is a felony 2? Firing a taser at a cop is felony 3. Does that bother you?
That don't justify.
Does that bother you?
When the Europeans showed up on this earth here, in this country, the Indians went through drastic change. The Africans went through tremendous drastic change. It's now time for the Europeans to see the real change of America.
Sometimes I feel like the people that they put on with Jesse are people that they know Jesse can kind of just steamroll with his usual tactics. Maybe people who aren't really forming the argument as coherently as other people could. I think they select.
Yeah, a lot of
their
people
callers.
don't do well speaking live. They do
Right.
better through like text and all that. Plus, this is over the internet, so there's latency. And
Right.
There's all sorts of way. Like, you could just turn your volume up 25% higher than them and talk over them the entire broadcast, and they wouldn't be able to get a word in edgewise if they didn't know about that tactic, for example.
I have a blessed day. Thank you.
Y'all have a blessed day. After hating you, falsely accusing you. But this is the mentality of most black people today, folks. This is not good to be catering to them. I want to show you the one in Atlanta where Tony was like, and God bless you, whatever he said. Did he say God bless you? Something like that. If you don't want to die by the hands of the cops, don't resist arrest. This is from CNN. Protests and riots grew.
And by the way, I'm pretty sure that part of the reason why he speaks kind of strange and his face looks kind of strange, I think he had a cleft palate when he
makes
was
sense,
younger.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Following the death of
It would make sense. The scar.
There's like,
the scar on
and
his
the
lip.
way his mouth moves when he talks. Yeah.
My grandfather had one.
Oh, yeah.
So
his name's not even worth saying.
similar
I don't want to say anything.
slurs in speech.
Because he was disgusting. Well, not now, he's dead. A black man shot by police after resisting arrest in Georgia. Here's the first soundbite.
Very awful situation has unfolded in Atlanta. You're looking at live pictures coming in from that Wendy's over there.
Yeah, because they shot him while he was running away, and you can't, unless he's running away and shooting at you. He had a taser, but a taser isn't supposed to be lethal, so I don't see the justification in using lethal force at that point, because I think he was too far away to hit him with the taser, too.
Yeah, I saw the guy's lawyer. The lawyer was talking about, yes, the man took the gun and used the gun, but the officer could have just let him walk home when the man said he was within walking distance, after he breathed the DUI or whatever.
Someone said tasers can be lethal. Yes, they can. So can pepper spray. So can tear gas.
Oof.
So, but they still use it in saying normally it's non-lethal.
Yeah.
Where the incident occurred last night. Look at that building. It's now totally engulfed in flames.
Amazing.
That's where Rayshard Brooks, he was in his car, simply going through the drive-through. He fell asleep. Our cars were going around him. The police showed up, and then that situation deteriorated big time, resulting in Rayshard Brooks, 27 years old, being shot and killed by police. And there are a lot of angry folks in Atlanta.
I think we minimize the pain of the protesters when we only focus on the fires or the looting, because I don't think we can even understand the pain that the
I like how he's laughing when the black woman reporter comes up.
African American community and communities really all over the world are feeling as we watch these
He really
deaths
doesn't like
play out.
women, and he doesn't like black people, so that's like double for him.
All out. That's an evil woman lying. Evil woman.
Man, he just immediately says it, doesn't he?
Wendy's on fire.
Oh, he doesn't think women should be like, first-class citizens. He thinks they should go back to not being able to vote, not being able to perform many jobs, being baby machines, basically. I've heard him say this stuff before.
She a liar.
Man, that'd be a dream world for him. He might get a date.
She a liar. They said Wendy's on fire. They said Wendy's on fire. Burger King's supposed to have flame boiled burger.
It wasn't Wendy's fault. It kind of sucks that that's where it happened to occur, so Wendy's got lit on fire. But... so I don't agree with that at all. I just hope all the people who worked there are getting unemployment now because they're not able to work.
And he simply fell asleep while going through a drive-through. People were driving around. The guy was drunk, according to the report. He didn't simply fall asleep. The cops were called about a drunken driver on the road, putting everybody else's life at risk. And
Still
this
not a
stupid
death
black woman,
sentence.
evil.
Still not a death sentence to drive drunk.
Black people messed up.
Yeah, because only black people drive drunk, right? It's so ridiculous. Yeah, you could pick any race of people and point to them doing something like this at some point.
Every race loves alcohol. That's just a truth. So yeah, it's not a racial issue. Drinking and driving.
I believe drinking and driving in the penalties for drinking and driving in the U.S. are way lower than they are in most other westernized countries. Like in Canada, it's a felony, and in the U.K., if you have a DUI in the U.S., they won't even let you cross the border into Canada because they consider you a felon there, even though you don't have a felony on your record here. Like if you get convicted of a crime that's a felony up there, even if it's not here, they'll consider it a felony and they won't let you in. I've seen it happen to people. I had a friend that was coming to Toronto with me, and when we got to the border, they're like, he can't cross because he has a DUI. So my friend had to go spend the night in Detroit for like a couple nights while me and the rest of my friends went up to Toronto, and then we picked him up on the way back. Yeah,
I believe, I'm not sure, but
so I
feel strongly against drunk driving, but on the same end, I mean, did he play the video yet?
People,
the video.
Yeah, we'll see it. Now, I will say people get too many second chances with drunk driving, especially in the U.S. Like the first time they'll maybe even get let go. I think when I lived in Albuquerque, they used to crack down on drunk driving way worse than anywhere else I'd lived. Like they'd make people have to get those interlocks installed in their car, which was kind of a racket between the government and these companies that installed this shit. But I knew a few people that had them in Albuquerque just because it was so common to see it, where like randomly it would just make you blow in it, and it was like a felony to have anyone else blow in it for you.
My friend, he ran a bar in my neighborhood. He was the manager of a bar, and he had one in his car, and he'd have the waitresses blow in his car so he could drive home.
Yeah, that's very illegal.
Yeah.
And I think the first time in Albuquerque is like automatic night in jail too, which doesn't happen in most places. But I think licenses should just get taken away. And I don't think it should happen. I think if it happens like more than 2 times, you should lose your license for like a year at least.
It's getting stronger and
there should
stronger.
be 3 strikes and you're out. I don't necessarily agree with putting people in jail for a long time if no one got hurt, but they should lose their driving privilege for sure.
I feel like the racial side is taking away from the fact that the guy resisted arrest, stole a taser, and used it on an officer. Might not warrant death, but it is far from unjustifiable.
I mean, resisting arrest, taking a taser from an officer, using it on an officer, you really shouldn't fucking do that.
You shouldn't do that.
You really shouldn't fucking do that.
Cop had tried to taser him already. It didn't work. Black people's skin too tough for the taser. I've said it once. I've said it twice. I've said 1,000 times.
Let us taser you then, and we'll see if your skin's tough enough to handle it.
Black people don't build. They destroy. Look how they destroy this. The black mayors are in charge. The city is being destroyed. Black people don't build, they destroy. Name me a country, a state, a city, or a town where black people build and you want to go live there. Majority.
Tulsa, Oklahoma in
It doesn't happen.
Or 1921.
Burning down
you would not want to live in 1921.
Can't Oklahoma, Black Wall Street, pretty good city. Black people built. What happened to it? What happened to it? What happened to it? Well, I can't remember what happened to Tulsa, Oklahoma, the big Black Wall Street, 1920, early 1921.
I'm not sure what happened.
I know what happened. They came in and murdered like 300 people, business owners that were black business owners came in and got murdered because people didn't want them to have anything.
Burning down the beauty of the country. They are destroying statues and monuments.
I never heard that.
And y'all just pretend, oh, it's racism. It's slavery. It's Jim Crow. And here's why they are rioting. Watch this.
Yo, you good? You don't need an ambulance or anything like that? Are you just tired? All right, man. Just I'll move my car. Just pull up. Just pull somewhere and take a nap. All right. Took me like a few minutes to wake him up. Kept knocking. Opened the door. Like shook him. Woke up super groggy. Got pretty good smell of alcoholic beverage coming out of the car. Eyes are watery, glassy. Slurred his words. Wasn't sure where he was. And he's telling me he had 1 drink. He said earlier. What kind of drink?
Mistake number 1, never admit to drinking, even if you have. Never admit to even having 1 drink.
Drinks did you have?
I'm not sure. It's something she ordered. She said top shelf or whatever.
Top shelf, my guy.
Too much to drink to be
Fuck.
driving, so
He's drinking that top shelf.
Okay, they cut out... I'm guessing Jesse Lee Peterson's people cut out, like, most of the exchange before this shit happened. Because they were getting along fine before the handcuffs came out.
You there? He ain't that drunk.
Hey, stop fighting. Stop fighting. Stop.
Did he just say he ain't that drunk? Okay, well then why is he
ain't that drunk? He can find a cop. He can drive home, right? Wait.
I mean, did they see him driving drunk anyway? I hate the thing where, like, if you're in your car and you've been drinking but your car's not moving, that you can be given a DUI. It's like, you got to see me driving drunk.
But his car wasn't parked properly, was it?
He was in the drive-thru, wasn't he? So he'd have to have driven.
I passed out in a Taco Bell drive-thru. Like, I don't know how my foot stayed on the brake.
White privilege,
but they
man.
literally the cops weren't there. All I remember was I was in, and this was like just before I had my big scare and I decided I would never drink and drive ever again, and that was like 18 years ago, and I've never done it again since. But I woke up, well, like I was in the drive-thru waiting, and then all of a sudden, it seemed like no time had passed at all. And someone's knocking on my window, and I noticed there's not cars in front of me anymore. And it was the woman that was working in there had to come out and like knock on my window to wake me up. And I bought my food and went home.
Oh, what a nice lady. She came up and helped you out. Yeah. More people should be like that. This guy shouldn't have ran away, but I can see why he'd be terrified.
This guy shouldn't have been driving
just woke
drunk
up in his car.
This guy shouldn't have been doing a whole lot of shit.
Yeah.
But this guy
probably didn't deserve to be shot from what I've seen so far.
I don't think he deserved to be shot, but you know what? We're dealing with it now, and we can't bring him back.
Stop, on, man. Stop. You're going to get tased. It's the road. Hey, hands up the taser. Stop. Stop fighting. Stop fighting. Hands off the taser.
Why the fuck is he doing this?
Black man fighting the.
He must have had. I mean, have they identified that he had? What was he? Did he have anything on him that he would have gotten more trouble for?
I could have a kid in my trunk, and it's not worth fighting the cops over. Go do your time.
Well, unfortunately, a lot of people, decide it is worth it, so that's why they do it. There's no way, even if he would have gotten away from them, they would have had the fucking choppers in the sky following him eventually. You can't get away, usually. Your chances of getting away at this point are slim to none.
You don't run from the cops. It just pisses them off more. You don't fight the cops. It pisses them off more. This is like, I don't like the way that people push this shit because we know how they act. We know how they operate. Yeah, we know the cops will fucking shoot you.
When you assault them, all bets are off at that point. Then
yeah.
Fuck, dude.
I still don't agree with shooting someone when they're running away.
Yeah.
The taser didn't work on him. Look how he stole the taser.
63.
Yeah, he's about to get shot. He fires back for a second. Right there. There's the fire. And then right after that, he gets shot and killed.
Okay. I can see how the cop being aimed at with a taser would be scared. Last thing you want is to, like, fuck up completely. Who knows if you got your gun, your actual gun. Could have been, a different story. But they maybe could have arrested him better. If you're not, like, sober enough to drive. If you can't drive, you can't be responsible to drive. You can't just expect them to just stand there and get cuffed either. They probably should have gone in there, Don't just set them up for a sprint out and just put your little baby handcuffs on. Actually get in there and, get it done if it's already at that level. I think they just let him get out of control there. Not that he should have gotten out of control.
They cut out the part, like, it was really calm. The majority of this interaction was really calm.
Yeah.
It was right when they tried to cuff him that something changed in him completely. And I don't know why. Maybe there was something else that he knew he was going to go to jail for a long time. I don't know.
If you're a cop,
I don't know if
you're a cop and you pull up on a guy in a car like this, drunk like that, could it be protocol to just leave his car there and drive him home?
I do want to say no.
Why couldn't it be protocol? Why couldn't they just say, okay, the drunk guy here, let's pull his car over and drive him home, dump him on his porch?
Like I said, I don't think adding criminality to drunk driving will be as effective as revoking licensing. Having more strict ways that you'd lose your license, I think would help more. And then if you drive without a license after it's been suspended, then sure, throw that person in jail. There has to be a point where you get locked up if you go far enough with it. But I think taking away licenses would be, because like now I remember like on the news, I would see like, so a drunk driver killed the whole family on the road. And this was and they had like 10 DUIs, like literally like 10. And they would still be able to, they'd still have a license. It was mind blowing.
Well, he pointed the taser at him, so that's kind of death by cop guaranteed right there. Still feel like maybe something more could have. It just looks like a botched arrest, like a really badly botched arrest, because they had two of them there. Two of them on one guy who just got woke up out of his fucking car and they couldn't get the cuffs on him fast enough to prevent a scuffle that they lost in. He overpowered them and took their taser away. Like, either they weren't allowed to do something or they just weren't properly trained to do it. I would say it's a fault the person for pointing the taser and just bad training.
What if police training was if you find somebody like this and they're not driving, like the vehicle was.
He doesn't seem
so
that drunk. He doesn't seem wasted here. But it's weird that he took a taser blast. He got hit by that taser and still kept going.
I wonder if he was on something else.
He could have been. Or some people are just resistant to it, but most people will drop to the ground when they get hit by a taser.
Like, we should give
adrenaline, man. Like, right when he had those cuffs on his back, you could see he lit up.
Is that thick skin?
Went for the sprint.
Like
thick skin, no, I bet his heart was like pounding out of his chest, like. So yeah, of course you taser the guy who's like amped up on like, probably got like a minute and 30 seconds of adrenaline in him because he's scared to death. You hit that guy with the taser, he's probably gonna get out of it, and he's probably gonna wrestle the hell out of you. So yeah, I'd say, at least I would imagine if you were a cop, while you're cuffing somebody, they would put you through some kind of training saying, hey, when you put these cuffs on people, they really fucking freak out. They're gonna jump over fences. They're gonna throw you over their back. You need to be ready to, like, I don't know. Maybe they're not allowed to. This guy's just going to say it's a racial issue, which I don't know. It just looked like a botched arrest of a drunk person.
Everybody knows that this black guy was wrong. The black guy wrong. He dead because of his action. But who get blamed? The cops. This is why black people's lives are so screwed up. It has nothing to do with racism. It's a lack of moral character. Decent people don't do this with the cops. Decent people don't burn down Wendy's.
They burned down Burger
Somebody
King.
in church said yesterday. They didn't burn down Popeye.
Man, this guy's pretty bold, huh?
Yeah, he is. He is.
Black owned, right?
I don't know if they're black owned.
I don't think Popeyes is black owned.
They're not.
No.
Are they the one with the good sandwiches?
On the one with the good sandwiches.
Why is he pretending to not know what Popeyes is?
I think he really doesn't know. I think he's senile.
He's eating too much caviar these days.
He has his shtick, and anything outside of his shtick, he really doesn't have the wherewithal to connect with.
Black people fight over chicken sandwiches.
Yeah.
God damn it, laughing at people fighting over chicken sandwiches.
You saw what was happening there. Everybody knows that that's wrong. And the guy is dead because of the guy, not because of the cops. He brought that upon himself. Cause and effect. And the cops were fired. The mayor of Atlanta, some black stupid woman by the name of Keisha Bottom, this dumb, evil woman ruled that it was unjustified.
Dumb, stupid, dummy lady.
Yeah.
Hate you.
I do not believe that this was a justified use of deadly force and have called for the immediate termination of the officer.
Okay, so like, if the taser shot had hit that cop and the guy was zapping the fuck out of the cop, then shoot him. If he fires, doesn't hit him, and then continues to run away, pursue him, do not shoot him. Well, that's my take on it.
The only argument, if I got to argue with you about it, if somebody takes one of those stun guns and aims it towards you and gets you right in the dome with it and pulls that trigger and jolts you, there's a good chance that's going to, if not kill you, severely fuck you up. So I can see why the officer who botched, I'd say they botched that arrest. They should have had him. Like, he was handcuffed. How did he wiggle away from that? Aren't they trained to deal with that? But nonetheless, just the fear of having a weapon pointed at you, I mean, from somebody who's drunk on top of that, I can see how Spurry would go, oh, fuck, and you'd shoot. But
there has to be an actual threat.
What if we don't try and incarcerate everybody at every angle just because we can? What if these cops were just trained to say, hey, man, you don't look too good. We're going to drive you home. Here's a coupon tomorrow. Call Uber, and they'll drive you to your car, and you can pick up your car tomorrow. This coupon's good in 8 hours. Sleep it off. Like that type of thing. And then we don't have to worry about...
Yeah, I don't agree with criminalizing every single thing and having these harsh punishments. I think driving's a privilege anyway. Take away someone's driving privileges for being, like, if someone's drunk and they're driving drunk, write them a ticket for court. You got to go to court. We caught you driving drunk. Here's a breathalyzer stuff. You're going home now. Come to court, and we'll decide whether or not we're taking away your driver's license for a year or whatever. I think that's more fair. And then if they get their license taken away and they're driving anyway, then they go to jail. I think that's
the core of why you go to jail when you're in a car while drunk is because it shows that you don't have the responsibility to leave your home and be inebriated and get home by yourself safely. That's the entire reason why, people are afraid to sleep in their car, because I'd say rightfully so. If you can't get your way home from going out to drink, that means this is going to happen over and over again. You don't have control over it. It's out of your control. You can't help yourself. So if you wanted to combat that, you'd have to come up with, I guess, something like Billy said, like an Uber service that's volunteer for drunk people. But even then, that's still encouraging, right? You got to nip it in the bud and attack it somehow. Now, pulling that arrest should have gone more smoothly, right? People are going to freak out. Bad stuff's going to happen. People are going to die. That's kind of inevitable. But people getting drunk and driving, it's definitely a completely personal responsibility that you take to go out there and get drunk. And if you can't handle it, then, yeah, you probably shouldn't be driving or drinking or any of that. You should more likely not have a probation officer making sure you don't drink.
I think a lot of these cops get emotional and personally offended by resistance, and it escalated to the point where they were mad, and I think that's why they shot this guy. Mad and fearful. That's just my take on it. I think they were angry that they had to actually fight this guy. They were angry that they couldn't control him, that he was overpowering two of them, and they were fearful because he had a weapon at that point too. I think that's a lot of the problem. It's emotions. It's the emotions of fear and the emotions of anger that fuel a lot of these situations.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, again, botched arrest, I say. Just, if you saw watching that video, the guy, they were talking like it was nothing. Even the cops were like, well, I pulled him over because of this, going down the checklist like you would at any job. He didn't look like he was amped up to take anybody down. He's probably been out for 8 hours that day cruising around. So, everybody's human at some point, even if they are an officer. Still, though, just that moment when he was handcuffed and he just went in that panic state, that seems like it would be a common. In fact, it is a common occurrence because I see it on tons of videos. But, yeah, anybody pointing a fucking stun gun at me, man, I don't want to be hit in the face or the chest or something with one of those and it's like, oh, well, maybe I guess you should have shot him. That non-lethal device actually was lethal as fuck when pointed at your head.
Someone said, wouldn't you, someone in the chat was like, wouldn't you be mad if a drunk driver killed your family? Yeah, I'd be mad, but then I wouldn't sit on the jury for that drunk driver's trial and decide what happens to it. You take when it's justice, it's not emotion. It's not revenge. That's not what justice is about. And the people that carry out justice and work for the justice system shouldn't be being like, well, if that happened to me, I'd be mad. Fuck that guy. That's not how this shit works. That's part of the problem. Do you not fucking get that? Holy shit.
You want a solution, not vengeance. If you get revenge on somebody, it might make you feel better, but it doesn't solve the problem. It's going to happen over and over and over again. That's why drunk driving laws get, bumped up. That's why you get one strike rules on armed robberies. If somebody takes a gun to a convenience store, they used to be like a 3-strike deal in some places. Now, just straight to, federal prison with you instead of just, robbery. And the alcohol, just drinking and driving has gotten bigger. They'll take blood out of your arm. The cops, at least as far as a few years ago, during New Year's would pull you over and take blood straight out of your arm to see if you've been drinking.
So I saw Joe Rogan. Oh, I'm sorry for interrupting. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I just found it kind of interesting because a lot of people that were on the other side of it that would be very pro-police were actually against getting their blood drawn, which I think everybody should be able to stand up and be like, yeah, that's kind of unnecessary. You should be able to tell if they're drunk. But the solution for drunk driving is definitely not vengeance. It's more of you have to make people terrified to do it so that they just stay home and get drunk because they can't handle going out and being socially drunk and getting home on their own. And it can't be society's burden to pick old fucking drunkie up out of his, sedan and make sure he gets home safe either.
I'll tell you what, if I go out drinking and my car doesn't come with me, 0% chance of me drinking and driving. And that's how I do it. Because I know if I'm really shit-faced and my car's there, I might be tempted to do it. So when I know I'm going out drinking, I do not drive to the place I'm drinking at. I make it so that I'm forced to take some other mode of transportation to get back.
That's a good habit.
It's that simple.
I've thrown dozens of people into Ubers and cabs before. And, outside of folks not getting killed, it always feels good when it's like, oh, this guy can still drive. He could have gotten fucked up, could have fucked somebody else up. And when they're drunk, they don't understand. Like, I've never been so drunk I didn't understand what I was doing, but I've seen it in people. Some folks just don't handle it too well.
This guy made so many mistakes.
Yeah.
So many mistakes. Before the cops got to him, he was making mistakes. And when the cops got there and they were chill with him, I didn't get to see all the time they were chill together with him. You said it was a lot longer.
It was calm. It was very calm. Strangely enough, I saw a clip of Sean Hannity watching this, and it's he watched the whole video, or at least way more of it than Jesse Lee Peterson did. And it's very calm. You saw the initial encounter when he had him pull into the parking space, and then they went straight to the part where they're putting the handcuffs on, and it escalates. So
that's the main focus for me on that. I didn't like drunk driving arrests happen all the time. People fighting police happens a lot, but you always try to look at like where things went completely fucked. And it was definitely when they didn't get the cuffs on him and he warmed his way out and they got their taser. He pointed it at them. At that point, they knew that they didn't have control over that situation. Probably scared the shit out of them, and that's how you end up with that. I'd still say bad training. Like, I've seen cops take down people like that, no problem. More forcefully, maybe not as nice. Maybe they, break an arm or get hurt a little bit or something like that. But it's still better than the situation going from we're going to get this guy out of his car to make sure he doesn't crash it to he's pointing a taser at him. Let's plug him full of holes. It's an extreme difference.
Somebody mentioned that I wouldn't be able to sit on the jury anyway for a trial where my family was killed. That's true, but they also, when you're on any jury, you get selected to make sure that you don't have some weird emotional bias coming into it. Like, someone could get selected for jury duty whose family was killed by a drunk driver, and they could be sitting in the jury for a drunk driver, vehicular homicide case. They don't want those kind of people. They want people who are emotionally detached from the situation that can look at the evidence and decide what the verdict is going to be. And that's how justice should work. From all forms, from the courtroom all the way down to the police officers writing the charges. That's just how I feel.
That. And that's just kind of how it is. It's hard to see good or evil. It's just seeing a lot. Well, you see some evil out there and you see some good, but in that case, that video, it just looked like everybody fucked up. Everybody screwed up really bad and they didn't know what to do.
I was listening to Joe Rogan interview this Navy SEAL, and he was talking about the types of training they go through. Way, way more training. Like literally 18 months of training before whatever mission they're doing. So like a year and a half of training to in all sorts of scenarios where you learn how to be more analytical and less emotional. This is literally what he said. And you're in a war situation where things are even more hostile, and cops now do not get good training at all.
It would seem so. Like, I haven't looked into it, but I just got to bring up again, they couldn't get the cuffs on, right? Isn't that like police in 101? Like, slap the cuffs on them, get it on quick, then go on with it. You shouldn't have your taser getting ripped off by you in a 2-on-1 scenario. And I don't know, the whole thing was just kind of weird. Especially how it was videotaped. I mean, I do like the body cameras and all that. But it seemed like it was dragged out a little bit, too. Maybe they were too nice. Maybe.
So we got a little bit of time left. We're going to do one more post-show on twitch.tv/drunkenpeasants tonight before we start doing them on our private streams again. We're going to hang out, play some games. You guys are all invited. It's going to start immediately after this show ends. So if you want to swing over to twitch.tv/drunkenpeasants, either now, just open it up on a window. You guys can talk in the chat there. Follow us if you're not already following us. Otherwise, literally, this stream and the stream on Twitch will be live simultaneously for like a couple minutes, and then this one will get shut off and we'll go over there. It's seamless.
Yes.
Seamless. I've got some Wild Bill.
I'm gonna read one dono that didn't get auto-read. Larry Hill said, "My dudes, I got my fiance pregnant. Take my money before my baby does. Love you, Billy Boy."
Thank you.
Love you too, Larry Hill. Thank you for giving us that pre-baby money. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Wild Bill made this video, "The Coming Republican Betrayal."
Oh, no.
Hello, everybody. It's a rainy day in Florida, and mark my words, many in the Republican Party want nothing more than to get rid of President Trump so that they can go back to the good old boy politics with the dirty Democrats, back to where everyone in Congress gets filthy rich as America slowly sinks into oblivion. Now, before Donald Trump was elected president, the Republicans and Democrats were joined together to govern against the will of the American people. Democrats wanted to take a flamethrower to the Bill of Rights. The Republicans said, no, let's take it down a little bit at a time. Do you remember the Obama years where the Republicans promised over and over?
Do you have to make all your videos outside? Like normally you have a cool backdrop, you have the beach or whatever, but do you have to go out when it's raining? Do you have like a roommate that hates it when you that hates when you make videos
He
or
probably
something?
does. He probably lives with his
mom or something?
His boyfriend who's his super liberal boyfriend who's like, "Damn it, Pa, you stop going off about that Obama stuff. You know, we gonna get married one day, and you're gonna be happy he did what he did." And Mild Bill's like, no.
I think this is like the senior center behind him or something.
Does he live there?
Yeah, he's in the scenic parking lot in front of the senior center.
He doesn't live there. He plays dominoes there or something. Who knows?
He
plays checkers.
He's
whatever.
a fucking checker shark.
Maybe they got a shuffleboard place to play shuffleboard.
To defund and repeal Obama's horribly unconstitutional policies, but whenever it came to a vote, the Republicans gave Obama everything he wanted. Well, those lion snakes, the rhino Republicans, are still in office. They have been going along with President Trump only because he has such massive support from the voters. But now it's crunch time. The re-election of Donald Trump is drawing near, and the investigations of government corruption are gaining speed. How many of those investigations are going to lead to the rhino Republicans? The only way to shut down those investigations is to keep Trump from getting a second term. And I fully expect the rhino Republicans to join the Democrats in sabotaging the Trump re-election. I expect...
And who are they exactly? Like Mitt Romney, I'm guessing? Ooh, Republicans were so butthurt about Mitt Romney marching and saying Black Lives Matter. They were butthurt about that.
I didn't see that. That's great.
He's the only Republican that voted yes to, in Trump's impeachment. He was the only one that voted yes. Like, get rid of Trump. The only Republican.
He was the, was it the governor or the senator of Massachusetts?
He was the governor of Massachusetts, and now he's the senator of Utah.
Yeah. The governor of Massachusetts, where they had socialized health care.
He didn't even win Massachusetts in the presidential election.
They were like, yeah, no.
I mean, it's like public health care. It's not so as much socialized as it's just like public health care. There's elements of socialism to it.
The rhino Republicans to betray the president just like they betrayed the Tea Party, pretending to be on his side while stabbing him in the back. I walked away from the Republican Party in 2016 after years of their betrayal.
Oh,
wow. I am now Constitution Party.
Why are you still blowing them all that?
He's now
so you're a fucking
Party.
party that hardly exists that normally votes for Republican, so you don't have to like cop to actually being a Republican, basically.
I'm now Constitution Party.
The only political party dedicated to honoring God, just as our forefathers did. But I have put aside Constitution.
Why would the Constitution Party be honoring, like,
you know.
Oh my God.
Because he said so. He said God. He's an old guy. He looks like it might be your grandpa. And he's saying God's good, so vote with what? Vote with the flock. Come on.
Concerns, because I recognize that Donald Trump is the man of the hour, placed in the White House by the hand of God, because Trump is the one who we need for trying times like we are now experiencing. I hope.
Hold on, we weren't in the trying times before we had him. So if he's the one we need, it probably shouldn't have gotten so bad, right? Like,
now
Trump,
we're just really lucky.
It's like going over a forest fire and dropping gasoline on top of it. That's what Trump did.
It's a controlled burn as you burn the whole thing down.
That Donald Trump gets the second term that he needs to get this nation back on track. But the day of the Constitution Party is coming. I truly believe that if we the people don't raise up a viable third party, the Republican-Democrat stranglehold on our government will continue to take this country down. Think about it. Thanks for watching, and America, bless God again.
Is it a good sign when you see the Republicans defecting from their party? Because I think it's a horrible fucking sign when I feel like I shouldn't be a Democrat. I fucking hate it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Do I have more in common with Mild Bill now than I have with the fucking a staunch Democrat? Is that something I have to worry about? Do I have to get a cowboy hat? Should I trade my bandana in for a 10-gallon
The last
bucket?
Democrat I voted for was Obama. I didn't vote for Hillary. So I don't call myself a Democrat because of that. And I wasn't planning. If I vote for Biden, I guess I would say for now I'm a Democrat. But voting for Biden, I would have to like hold my nose while I do it because he's pretty fucking awful.
Now that you changed and you like Joe, we should go watch all those police videos again and see what your opinion is now, Billy.
My opinion? Who's this friend? Is this Ghazi?
I am back with another video. And today
Ghazi
we're
finally
going to be talking
took
about
the
the
step,
Supreme
got
Court
the snip.
passing a law
No.
to protect LGBT community from job discrimination.
Yeah, because there was a law passed by the Supreme Court.
Was it a law or was it a ruling?
It was a ruling.
It was a ruling.
Sorry. There was a ruling by the Supreme Court. Basically that your job, just like race, religion is all protected and you can't be discriminated against in the workplace, now they're doing it for LGBT and all the other letters.
They passed this law in the middle of an anti-black war. And this just lets us know how unimportant Black American rights is to.
Did she draw her eyebrows on with a Sharpie?
Probably, yeah. Well, not a Sharpie, but
a Sharpie. And
they're
she's
drawn on.
And she's been huffing the fumes the whole time?
They
Is
are
that what's
drawn
wrong with
on.
her?
System. Let me explain. The George Floyd killer has not been convicted yet. Breonna Taylor's killers have not been convicted yet. Robert Fuller was caught, well, not caught, but discovered, lynched in a public place in California, and people are ruling that as a suicide. That is a lie. That man did not kill himself. And from what I hear, 5 other black men were lynched in other cities.
Is it 5? I heard 2.
Yeah, I heard 2. Maybe there's more now,
Fuck.
or she's wrong. I wouldn't.
I hope she's wrong
I just
because
feel
that's
like
scary
the
as
black
hell.
community has not even gotten the justice that we deserve as Americans, and they're giving protection to people who already have protection. You know, and not only that, they have the most high-level jobs. They are already in a position of wealth and power. And if you want to get honest, people are afraid to say anything against the LGBT community because everyone knows that they will face ramification if they say anything disrespectful towards, you know, that community. And they haven't even protected the black LGBT from Ed Bucks. You know, Ed Buck, if you guys don't know who he is, he has killed a lot of black men.
Who?
Black people get discriminated
Uncle
against.
Buck?
John Candy?
I heard of
Every
him.
day just for being black. And I have had white and non-black women discriminate against me when it comes to looking for employment. They don't hire me.
So she's saying, why do they get protected? I think the point she's making is like, why do they get more protections?
No, why are they giving them this ruling right now while this is all going on? Is what she's saying.
Okay.
She's saying it's to take away from all the work that they're trying to do. They're giving it to the gay community right now to take away from the LGBTQ community.
This is an apples and orange comparison because police violence towards people is different than discrimination in the workplace, and there already are legal protections for racial discrimination in the workplace, and now they're just evening it out to more people. They're expanding it. Everyone should be happy about that. It doesn't take away from anything else going on. It's something totally different and separate, and we don't want to halt progress somewhere else just because there's not enough progress in this other place here. You know, progress on all fronts is progress, no matter what.
Because I'm a petite black woman and I try my best to take care of myself, you know? And whenever I say that, people always ask, well, how can you prove it? And when they say that, I say, how can the LGBT prove that they're getting discriminated against? You know, you see where I'm going with this? I can't have the fact that
through a
I'm
Supreme
black.
Court.
You know, when you see me, you see that I'm a black woman. It's no question about it. But most gay people, you wouldn't even know they were gay unless they told you, or unless they were making.
Most transgender people are only the gender that they identify as inside their own mind. They're not the gender they are outside of their own mind. It's only inside their own mind.
Yeah.
That doesn't invalidate who they are.
Yes. You know, I just feel like in America's society, if you are gay, I feel like, to be honest, you get more resources, especially if you are a gay black male. You're going to have all the resources.
So she say gay privilege, gay privilege, gay black male privilege, she said.
Well, see, how would you know what she's been through, but she knows what everybody else has been through, right? Nobody knows what this person's been through, but she can tell all the gay people on the planet exactly how they got it.
Troubles
in fact,
I've
they probably
seen.
got it better.
Because that's what they want. So I feel like this is just burying a conversation of the anti-black racism that is the root of all problems, you know, in this society. White supremacy and the anti-black racism against black Americans. That's the real issue. And it's just really not fair how we just have to sit and watch, you know, all these other groups get rights and stuff, and we still have our people slain in the streets with no justice.
No, they were affording rights to a group of people that most of us already have.
This woman is terribly cute. And I think if she wasn't terribly cute, her life would be much harder than it is.
Oh, it's attractive privilege?
I think she's got attractive privilege, and she might not notice.
She notices? That's why she's dressed like that.
Huh.
Man, look at where the camera's cut. I didn't want to bring it up, but yeah, look at the cut on the camera. It stops right at the cleavage line.
Right.
I feel like the whole point of them passing this law was
sitting.
to show us how unfair the system is. So yes, that was my thoughts on this situation. I just want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you like my content and if you want to see longer videos of me, feel free to donate to my YouTube channel. My PayPal and Cash App information will be in the comments.
I thought she was going to say OnlyFans.
She's not even asking for likes. She's right to here's my fucking PayPal. If you like my video, give me some money, you little fucking
she could
bitch.
be
looking for simps.
She could be the fifth peasant.
Damn. She's like already ready to sell out, man.
Yeah, and as always, peace, love, and black power.
I mean, I would like to see you guys fight this lady every week. That would be fun.
I hope she has more crazy, because this was just entry level. It sucks that she's throwing this ruling under the bus to try and perpetuate the rights of people.
She thinks that the Supreme Court doing something over here is somehow taking away from protesting police brutality.
Well, it's not like a single file line.
Right.
Like they can have two things go through at once. You said it earlier. It's all separated. It's not together. These things happen in separate areas. But I don't think this person thinks that deeply about it. They probably maybe don't even really give a shit. They probably don't even actually care. This is just something to this is just a mask to put on an act to do. And nothing says act better than a perfectly cut cleavage line on your camera that you sit very still in front of and make sure to pronounce your body.
The camera positioning was not a happy accident.
Yeah. Oh, the camera is showing off my cleavage line. Oh, well, that just happens. I was sitting perfectly still while speaking the entire time. Well, Oh, and my flag's up there. If you want to buy the flag, it's $10,000 right now on eBay.
There was this hilarious moment a long time ago. We had our cameras used to be on the bottom of the screen, and we had Caseytron on, and she was in the main big video window, and my window was at the bottom in the center. And I turned off my camera for a second, and Caseytron's cleavage was perfectly framed in the window that I had turned my camera off because I was like leaving the room for a second, and everybody just started laughing their ass off, except for Caseytron didn't know because she couldn't. It was back when we used to share the screen a different way, so she had no idea why everyone was laughing. It was ridiculous. It was so dumb.
It could happen. I'm just saying. With
It
the
was
flag
not
and all
planned,
that,
but everyone was like, "What the fuck?"
That can be a happy little accident. But that lip gloss is no accident. Man, she used the whole thing.
I'm sure Spec can find that episode and let everyone know what episode number it was or whatever.
She works better with her.
I think it was the first time Caseytron was on. First Caseytron episode.
She works better with her cosmetics than Buff Carell does. Buff Carell, he fucks his hair. His hair glosses, not his lips. But those eyebrows, they pop like Buff Carell's eyebrows do.
This guy's video resolution is literally this long, wide strip.
Nice.
So it's like low def but ultra wide.
Yeah, it's so bad. If you go to his YouTube channel, the box that the video in is this exact like long, wide strip.
I know this matters to nobody else, but people who upload ultra wide video gameplay have been banned off YouTube for uploading in strange resolution. So I'm looking forward to see what this guy's allowed to get away with.
As the Christian nation that we are, we no longer accept these wicked rulings that are coming out of the court. You are no longer the Supreme Court. You are a court of demons. And as such, we reject all your rulings that are contrary to the laws of God and the word of God from which this nation is founded upon. We unseat all these wicked ideas that you have tried to embed in this nation. And we reject all the wicked pastors that have gone along with your wicked decisions to cause this nation to plunge into turmoil. We reject this wickedness out of this nation and out of this country in the name of Jesus.
He's fading away. He's got a sick mustache and beard, but other than that, that video is weird. I thought that was the thumbnail. I didn't think that you'd have Arial font, Church of Jesus Christ, the Son of God.
Yeah.
What did he make this with? I really want to see his setup. Like, it's got to be a Mac, right? Like
it was
Auto Movie Maker.
it was Windows Movie Maker on Windows 98. No, I don't know.
I wouldn't be shocked.
Windows Millennium Edition. Sorry, I didn't give him enough credit. Yeah, he at least had Millennium Edition, the best working version of Windows ever created. That's why it was the Millennium Edition.
Spec said you skipped the great news stories of yesterday. The Supreme Court vote and a combined license application for a Gen 4 fast neutron reactor being accepted by the NRC for the first time, just after the Trump administration undid a shit Obama-era nuke law.
I agree that you think that was the most interesting news story.
Yeah, why aren't
yesterday?
Why are we
not covering all the nuclear news?
Why don't we let Spec run the show?
Yeah,
that'd be fucking great. From an autistic perspective.
Oh, damn, dude.
Oh, that's always a good start to anything. All right, let's go.
I want to personally thank Hellbent for tonight's guest appearance. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. It's fun being on.
Yeah.
Low energy shade. I agree.
What was that?
Nothing.
What was that?
No, it was nice. Usually I don't talk too much on stuff like politics, but seeing police arrest videos, I watch them on YouTube all the time because they're honestly really entertaining to watch. As fucked up as it is. But yeah, it's nice to actually get to talk about seeing those guys trying to handcuff that dude and just botching the fuck out of it. It just seemed like a really, really bad case of training. And if that's the case, maybe people would hate the cops less if they did have to go through the amount of training that you'd have to become a Navy SEAL. Maybe get paid more for it too. Hell, if you got to pay them more and they behave nicer and they get better training, then who would mind that, really? I think everybody'd be happy with that for the most part. But I bet a lot of shootings happen because the police lose control of the situation and the only option they have left is to open fire, right?
Maybe.
So,
I think there's some options where they had more options. One, I can't remember the gentleman's name. He was in the car with his girlfriend, and he had a gun and a license to carry that gun. And the cops asked him if he had a gun, and he said yes. And he was going to reach for the license to show them, and they opened up and killed him. Like, that's unacceptable. I think
I saw a video of two officers pull up on two guys in the middle of a street. They rolled up and lit their car up and then went up to the driver's side window, and the guys are sitting there shot up, and they opened fire on them in the windows. Those guys got terminated, as well as the people that died. Just the whole thing's a mess. You can see these videos all over YouTube too. Just tons of instances to where the gun gets pulled, and most of the time that I've seen it anyways, it's usually the result of either the guy being fucked up or, in a lot of cases, just the police not being well trained enough to handle a violent encounter like that. And when they lose control, that's what they're taught to do, is to pull the gun out and go. So, yeah, I think training is a big issue.
Police have forgotten how to talk to people like they are a person. Instead, they are fixated on having power over everything and everyone. Yeah, that's a problem. Philando Castile was the gentleman's name that was murdered by the cop when he was just trying to show his gun permit. That fucking sucks.
That's fucked up.
And the problem is the cops operate with an immunity for shit like that. That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, the George Floyd cops were only going to get fired originally.
That's a problem.
Before the shit hit the fan.
And the officers protecting each other because they're afraid if they speak out against shit like that, it will cause the agent, the station they work for, the police agency department they work for, it causes the department liability. If the cops are shown saying, hey, you're doing this wrong, then they're admitting to liability in the act. And also they will be ostracized by their brothers, their fraternal order of cops. It's a brother.
Well, they got all-out unions, just like you'd have if you were like a plant worker or something. So you have police unions, right? It's kind of weird to have a union for a government agency, but I understand it. But yeah, I mean, collusion, certainly. Like, I still try to look at instances and try to have empathy for everybody, since they're all people at the end of the day. But
they are people at the end of the day.
Collusion.
But the design of a militarized police force, the design of a prison industrial system, the design that these cops, they can go to work and have a bad day that means somebody gets murdered on the job. Their bad day is somebody dies, and these cops aren't held accountable. And are their bad days really that big of a circumstance, or are there cops who are sadistic pieces of shit that chose that jobs they would wield power somewhere in their life? The amount of domestic abuse cases within police forces is kind of unsettling. There's a whole lot of bad there, and you can't really be a good cop and not get your career thrown away because they protect their own.
Is that the cameras, man? It's always with the cameras. Everything you see, everything we see here is put through video, right? You see it on YouTube, you see it on Twitter. Every event people see that's big is on a video. So why are their cameras ever off, right? So that would be my first tip way to maybe something's not right. Whip them into shape on the cameras.
Even when they're on.
Put them through more training.
Even when they're on. Every one of those videos we've seen of the police using too much force against a human being, you have a whole bunch of people that support them and say, nah, they're doing their job. I'd have fucking kneeled on that man's neck too.
To be honest, though, that's a very small minority that's saying that.
But they're there.
They're there. There's always
They're
going to
there.
be. There's always going to be that.
They're gonna
to
be.
some extent.
They're gonna
no
be.
matter what.
But when those videos of them doing that knee on the neck, and you have the people supporting them, and then you also have the fact these cops don't get criminal charges, they lose their job. They're protected against criminal charges when they do criminal things. That's the problem.
Well, you're held to a huge accountability to go out and drink and get home. We talked about DWIs earlier and the impact you have as an individual to stay sober out there and come back home safe. Likewise, I don't see any reason why the police shouldn't be under the same kind of scrutiny to do what they do safely if they choose to do it. And if employment is a choice, and it's no different than going out to drink in a lot of ways, you chose a risky business, you went out and did it, and it went poorly, that's on you. Usually I can think of very few instances where the authority with the firearm isn't the most important person in the room who decides what's going to happen. So yeah, more control, more training.
They have a new
maybe
law.
Pay them more for their time.
They have a new law
so
that's
they don't
being
get
introduced.
corrupt as much. Maybe
they have a new law that's being introduced in some areas where the cops are supposed to speak up against acts like that. They're supposed to stand out against their other officers. I would like to see how that plays out in the future. I'd like to see if that's actually a thing.
In the George Floyd scenario, only one of the other cops could have done anything, because if a normal person would have stopped that from going on, they would have gotten arrested. I mean, that's how that would have played out, and no one would be aware of it because no one would have died. They would have just arrested whoever tried to help, and there'd be two people going to jail at that point. So it was a no-win scenario for anyone who wasn't a cop that wanted to intervene. So that's where training is very important. You're there, you're a police officer, one of your fellow officers is murdering someone. You can't just let them do it.
Yeah, no, you shouldn't. It should be obvious morally, if not through, how you're trained, that you shouldn't just, crunch somebody, choke them out. I mean, we've seen up multiple instances of it. You see it all over the place. It happens way more than just a few videos that crop up. Yeah, you would think it'd be obvious.
We are going to end this stream and go over to Twitch. We're going to play a little intro before we go over there and everything. So we are going to end this show. We will see you there very soon. Thanks for watching. Everyone go there right now. Everyone go there now. We will see you all there.
Go.
All right, here we go.
Whee!
Oh, no!
Metroid Man, I don't have a favorite Joji song. Love you too. Ben, do you have a favorite Nine Inch Nails song?
Oh, don't touch me.
Oh, man. Too many to pick. I like all of Pretty Hate Machine.
All right. Everybody, twitch.tv/Drunken Peasants. Go there right now. We're going live. Go there now. Go there now.
In the beginning, there was nothing. And then there was the Drunken Peasants Podcast.
Drunken Peasants. Drunken Peasants. Drunken Peasants. Drunken Peasants. From the strangest corners of the internet, gonna get TP'd by Billy and Ben. You know where you can find them at. Get ready, cause they're gonna kick your Drunken Peasants. Drunken Peasants. Drunken Peasants. Drunken Peasants.